Well, hello everyone. I'd like to wish everyone a safe and happy new year. And 2016 can kiss my ass. The link to come in is on my Facebook page, on my Google Plus page, and you can just ask me for it. Anyways, hey, I'm going to have my annual hangout tonight. Anyone who come in, they're welcome to come in. If you don't have any place else to go, come on in. Let's bring in the new year. I'm going to be setting a few things up for a few seconds here, so while I'm doing that, it won't be very active. I don't have anybody in right now because I didn't specifically invite anybody. But give me a few seconds here, and if you want to come in, just let me know, and I will let you in. Oh, there's people arriving already. I already got guests. Who's here? Oh, it's Floyd. Well, hello, Floyd.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Did you bring anybody with you?
No. Are we on the air?
You are on the air. People, yes.
I didn't see the YouTube feed.
Oh, because it's actually an off-air hangout that I'm being streamed live via XSplit to the live feed. So yeah.
Okay.
It's complicated, but hey, did you see the other day I had 24 people in here?
Yeah. I was watching some of that.
That was awesome, and nobody talked over each other. Nobody got upset. Nobody got pissy. And we even had a creationist in here, and so it was just like, wait a minute, we have one creationist and 23 people that know evolution's a fact, and yet he wasn't talked down to. He wasn't talked over. He had a nice little discussion with PZ Myers, so I was quite happy with that.
Yeah. I watched that. Yeah. He I forget it was Wyatt. I think his name was.
Yeah, Wyatt. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He goes. Yeah, the philosophical way. Yeah, with philosophy, you can just just go in the murky corners of philosophy, and well, if this is the case and it's logically consistent, then I solved my problem.
Well, I was listening to a little bit of it, not very much, of Darwin's deity talking to who was it, multiple personality, this morning on True's channel. Did you watch any of that? It was pretty bad.
Yeah,
They seemed like he tuned down his volume to nothing. I could barely hear him. And Darwin's just being his typical pompous asshole.
I was like Darwin's Greatest Hits. Like, post a link to that. Was that was the one?
Probably. I haven't looked yet. I literally just woke up. I only watched a few minutes of it. What happened was Ned had gone in there to talk about their debate, and within about 5 minutes it had already gone to shit because Ronnie doesn't understand. Ned doesn't want to have a debate on his channel, and I mean, do you blame him? Nobody wants to have a debate on his channel, so he's trying to come up with alternatives, and he just couldn't do it. So he kept shutting him down. So I just opened up a room and I talked to him for almost about 2 hours this morning. We had a really good discussion, just him and I.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, I'm just totally through with Darwin's. I don't want to interact with him at all. I mean, he's supposed to shut down conversation, and it's just the same old crap.
Well, I've been saying that for how long? I mean, you guys keep interacting with all these guys, and I'm the first person to say, you know what, enough's enough. I mean, I like MP, multiple personality, and who else was in there trying? Well, like Wayne goes in there every so often to try, but I mean, when are these guys going to learn that you're not going to have a civil conversation with any of these guys in those rooms? You just can't do it. So why bother?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a waste. It's there's no need to bother. It's like it's the same old crap. Like our common employees, say, oh well, atheism is self-defeating, and you say, oh really? Why is atheism self-defeating? You say, oh well, if it's the case, it's just natural selection. How do you know? How can you have knowledge? How can you know anything? It's like, well, no, wait a minute. If nature selects so you can survive, truth has to have some sort of, component in that. If you don't know the truth about you at the edge of the ledge, not to fall off of it, you would fall off of it and you wouldn't breed there, and you wouldn't survive. So, if you can't learn, if species can't learn from their mistakes and so forth, yeah, they're going to make stupid mistakes and they're going to die out. So, but then if they say, well, how do you know that? So no. How I know that is irrelevant. If that's the case, if atheism is the case, then if it does select where you can know these things, then it's not self-defeating. When they just go, well, how do you know that? Well, no. You have to assume it. If you assume these things, is it self-defeating? Okay, if you assume it, it's not self-defeating. Therefore, your argument fails. But the argument is, well, how do you know that that's the case? Well, no, that's a totally different question at that point.
I don't know why he has such a problem with people just making certain assumptions. I mean, Darwin thinks that you always have to justify all these assumptions, and I'm like, well, why? I mean, he's never explained to anybody what the problem is with that.
Yeah, it's moving the goalposts. The precept game is you're supposed to compare worldviews. The Christian worldview compared to all other worldviews. They claim every other worldview is incoherent, illogical, self-defeating, contradictory, and so forth. And it's an impossible feat to do that. But the way they go about it is, well, how do you know your worldview is true? Basically, no, that's not the. That's a different question.
You don't in some ways, but what's the problem with that?
Yeah, that wasn't the original challenge. The original challenge is you assume these two opposing worldviews and compare them. The challenge was not prove your worldview is correct. The challenge was compare the worldviews together. Assume they're correct. Assume your starting presuppositions of your worldview are correct and compare them from there. They totally just move the goalposts and change the question.
Well, I hope for 2017 you kind of avoid
that.
I mean, if you want to have civil conversations and dialogue, have them with like General Han Solo, because I know you guys are planning some kind of a friendly debate. I would rather call it more of a discussion sometime next month. Those things are great. Those are what we need to have. To engage with Darwin's is complete and utter waste of time. I'm hoping everybody recognizes that this coming year that we just avoid that side of the fence. And again, I'm not telling people what to do. Yeah. I'm just giving my friendly suggestion on it because I think it's causing more harm than good.
Yeah, my advice is if Darwin's in a room and you have mods, kick him right away.
Yeah,
I'm dead serious. He's just a waste. He'll say stuff. I'm in here. I'm being very civil and so forth. No bullshit. He comes in with a degrading icon of Richard Dawkins. That alone is not being civil. That alone is being condescending. Boom, out you go. If
I don't have a problem with him doing that.
Change your icon right now.
But it's just hypocritical.
You're going to call me sir. Well,
I don't have a problem with him doing that, but it is hypocritical for him to say, "Oh well, I want to have civil dialogue," and then when he does something like that, it's like me saying, "I want to have civil dialogue," and then I put my icon as like a crucifix in a jar of urine as my icon or something. I mean, yeah, you're allowed to do that, but I mean, it's kind of inflammatory to begin with, so it's not surprising that people are going to look upon him and go, "Yeah, this person does not want to have an honest discussion." It's like they don't think
see that, and you see that icon right away, and you say, this guy's being civil. No, this guy's being condescending right away. He's not being civil at all. It's like, no, I don't want to talk to this guy. Hey, Deidre.
Hey. Holy
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Are you running a corporate hang now?
I is.
Oh, okay.
And you're on.
So you got the live.
Yeah.
All right.
Mm-hmm. You've got 5 more hours. So 6 more hours until New Year's. Yeah. But the bigger, more important. There's something else more important tonight than New Year's. Do you guys know what that is? And it's actually in only 3 hours. Wait, 3 hours from now. Yeah. A little less, but
What's that?
oh come on! What happens 3 hours from now? Nobody wants to take a try. We'll wait for the live feed to catch up. See if they can tell us what happens in 3 hours.
I don't know. Voting ends for the dumb fuck of the year.
We have a winner. We have a winner. Yes.
It doesn't matter.
Dun dun dun. Yeah. Do you want to? You guys want to guess well, how much Darwin? True empiricism is in the lead.
Yeah, I assume he's going to win. I think he deserves it too. I mean,
he's up like 370 votes or something like that, somewhere along those ballpark. Damn near 400 votes.
Yeah, I'm looking at the news here. There's another nightclub shooting in Turkey. 35 dead so far.
Are you kidding me? Really? I mean,
yeah.
Well, I'm telling you, this has been a shitty year for things. I mean, 2016 could kiss my ass, seriously. Joe, I'll try to get you that link that in a second here. Joe, I did invite you, so you can come on in. See if I can add it this way. Okay. This is the actual. You guys want to see it? Here we go. 838. Wow. I mean, that's nearly double Von Helton. That's just a landslide. Would you call that a landslide? Is that considered to be a landslide?
Okay,
Well, I'll give it to you. I mean, you're the only person I know that's been saying, don't really pay attention to anything. Just click the like button and click this. I know you don't know why you're doing it. Just do it.
I have done that. Yes, I'm not denying that.
Yeah. Yeah. I said it before, but I'll say it again. I think the best approach to deal with these young Earth creationists is first to debunk the young Earth. Then, the reason why they're young Earth creationists is because they're holding on to a literal interpretation of the Bible. So all you need to do is to attack the easiest argument that deals with biblical literalism. The only reason they're young Earth creationists is because of their literal interpretation of the Bible. So if you can show to them, if you can prove to them that the Earth in fact is old, and they accept that, I think the rest will be a domino effect. It's like, okay, now I'm gonna accept that the world is billions of years old. Okay, now I can accept that there's plenty of time for evolution to take place.
Well, that's what my starting point is.
I have to concur that's how I started. I mean, I was raised a young Earth creationist. I may have grown up in California, but I was a homeschooled kid that was raised as young Earth creation, and that was the first thing that went was the age of the Earth. That was the first block that went.
It is the first domino to go down, really, for some of these people. Once they realize, or actually, I would say it might be the second, because the first time it should be flat Earth. I mean, if you're a young creationist and you accept flat Earth, then flat Earth has to fall first, then young Earth, and then etc. But that's what I've been focused at.
Until G+.
Well, there are but there are a lot of them out there now. They do kind of concentrate on G+, but they are out there now, so we have to take that into consideration.
Yeah, I mean, the flat earthers are, a very small minority. They've always been around, but and there's getting more exposure because of the internet. But like G-Man and Veckel, they don't believe in the flat Earth, for example.
Which is surprising, but
yeah, but again, if you take a very literal interpretation of the Bible, the Bible clearly, if you take that view of the Bible, it clearly describes a flat Earth. Just Google Bible cosmology and just look at the pictures. That's how the ancient Israelites pictured the world, as well as their neighbors. It's not like they're any different than the other cultures at the time.
The Earth is not flat. This is your God, and the Earth is not flat.
I mean, the Bible is pretty clear. If you take a literal interpretation, that implies a flat Earth.
I don't read it that way.
Dome firmament above
I'm not going to lie. I see what you're saying on that. I don't particularly think that the writers of the Bible all thought the Earth was flat. I can see that interpretation of it, and maybe they did think the Earth was flat during those times. I honestly don't know for certainty, but
Well, I mean,
think
there's other sources to back it up. You have the Egyptian cosmology, even Greek, even in Greek culture, and Homer, and I told you before that myth of Persephone going down to Hades, which causes Demeter
But I mean,
to
it was
bring
200,
winter.
200 BC or 300 BC or so. Yeah, that's when
Yeah.
Eratosthenes had done his first experiment. So
Right.
by the time the 0 AD came around, they kind of knew already that the Earth wasn't flat. So there might have been some still people that held on to that. But don't you think that the scholarly people knew that the Earth wasn't flat by then?
Well, I think most, whatever you call science at the time, it was getting more and more accepted. But those things, it's a paradigm shift, right? So it takes time. But I mean, okay, so let's go into the New Testament. New Testament, they have Satan taking Jesus up to a very high mountain to see all the kingdoms of the earth. Again, that implies a flat earth.
Well, to me, that could be visionary. I always took that as more like a vision kind of situation.
Well,
but
if it's a vision, why physically go up a mountain? If you have the vision, on the beach, you don't need to go up a high mountain to have a vision.
Yeah, I wouldn't have take that as a literal at all. But I would argue that the cosmology does argue for like a flat Earth, and also they had this belief of the firmament above. Which kind of goes with why G-Man keeps saying that it never rained before the flood. And it's almost like he keeps suggesting that canopy theory. So that way you can maintain a very literal view of it and, defend ancient science, which was not completely accurate.
They believed the firmament had windows, had floodgates, and that's what caused it to rain. You open up the floodgates and down came the water. Because, the firmament, it says right in Genesis 1, it separates the waters from above and below. So
right.
Originally,
that I do believe they believed. Yeah,
originally the universe, so to speak, nowhere in Genesis 1 or even in the Bible it says universe. At best in Greek it offers cosmos. But, the original state of the universe was chaos. It was chaotic waters.
Oh, now you sound like ocean.
Yeah, and it was symbolized as like the chaos dragon. And in fact, even the word, the Hebrew word in Genesis 1 is teom, which is the same root word as Tiamat. And actually in the Psalms and so forth, you actually have a separate creation story where Yahweh destroys Leviathan, and it separates it. It's the same thing in Genesis 1. It separates the waters from above and below. So you're creating order at that point. Before it was just a chaotic, watery. Think of it as like alphabet soup, so to speak. It's just and from that he produced order. But you have the solid dome firmament. So basically, the Earth is like an air bubble. It's like a reverse snow globe, so to speak. But it has gateways, and God rests on top of the firmament. It actually says, the firmament is God's footstool. But where's God? He's on. He's right above the firmament, and that's what the Tower of Babel. They're building a Tower of Babel that was reaching up to the heavens, and Yahweh didn't like that, so he confused in the Bible story, which if you actually read the Bible story, it's that Tower of Babel is just kind of stuck in the middle. I think it's in Genesis.
It's in Genesis, but it's also a shared story too, which is kind of funny. It's another one.
It's going through an order of generations, and then all of a sudden you have the Tower of Babel story. And then it continues on with the generations again. So it looks like they just rammed it in there. They said, we got to stick this story somewhere. Let's just stick it in here. But it just seems to be totally out of place.
What's fascinating with Babel, though, is that's a shared story, if I remember correctly. It's one of the weird ones, like the flood story that's shared ancient ones.
I believe I forget which apocryphal book. I think it's the Book of Jubilees. They actually have a more a more elaborate story of it. In the Bible story, God just simply confuses their language, and that's it. And by the way, in the previous chapter, or is it? No, it's the after chapter. I forget. It or no, in the previous chapter, yeah, it already says they have different languages. So again, it's a bad order. But I think in the Book of Jubilees, they have a more elaborate story where God actually tips over the tower. That's not in the Bible story, but I think it's Jubilees.
So he just knocks it over.
Yeah, he's actually more fearful of the humans.
I thought he destroyed the Tower of Babylon, and then he separated all the tribes scattered them to the different ends of the earth.
Well, in the Bible story, he doesn't destroy it; he just confuses their languages. But in the Book of Jubilees, the Jubilee story, he actually destroys the tower.
He doesn't destroy the Bible.
Imagine saying, "Hand me a brick" to somebody who speaks Swahili, and they're like, click, back to you. You wouldn't understand, right? So building would probably come to a standstill because nobody could communicate. So that was the whole idea.
Yeah. So. So it implies that they could build a tower, high enough to reach the firmament. So, so you have to ask yourself, well, how tall is the firmament?
Not very tall, I guess.
The stratosphere reaches to 160,000 feet. The mesosphere reaches to 285,000 feet, and the thermosphere is 400 miles plus, and the exosphere is 6,000 miles. So where does the firmament actually end?
When I read Tower of Babel as a child, and I'm just thinking, and I was more of a literalist as a kid, and I'm just thinking back at how I pictured it, and I looked at it as these people thought that they could build a tower to heaven, but I never really thought they actually could, It's more like their willingness to be like, I'll show you, God, smite me, almighty smiter, kind of thing, instead of a
almighty smiter.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, there is a lot of astrological symbolism in the Bible, as well as all the religions at the time, the cultures. It's very prevalent in the Egyptian one. But it actually says in the Bible, the stars, the heavens, those are the heavens. People today, they pray up, they actually look up to, heavens up. But the stars are for signs and wonders, and and they thought those were the gods up there, especially the planets, because they notice the stars. The stars are very consistent as they move across the horizon, right? It goes in a nice curved line going across the horizon. But the ancients looked up and they saw these planets, actually going, very an orderly path. So, and they actually called them the wanderers. I think that's. I'm not sure if the word planet it refers that, but what entities is capable of moving on its own like that? Well, a sentient being, right? So I actually thought that planets were gods because they're able to move on their own, so to speak. Actually, it has to be an agent. It has to be a personal sentient being.
Isn't it the Sumerians that do that though? Isn't it?
Yeah. Well, and you hear seven heavens. Yeah, there's seven layers of heaven for the seven heavenly beings they're aware of at the time. So, were the seven heavenly beings? It was the sun, the moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn. Those are the seven visible, being, earthly, not earthly, but heavenly beings that they knew of at the time. So those are seven. They all had their own heavenly level, so to speak, and you really won't find that in the Bible. In the Bible, it doesn't really mention seven layers of heaven. It kind of refers like 3 layers. You have Sheol, earth, and then heavens. But like in the one of the Pauline epistles, it talks about a person that Paul knew. Some people think he's talking about himself. Actually, got caught up to the 3rd heaven. Well, is that the 3rd of 3 layers or the 3 of 7 layers? We don't know. In the Quran, it actually talks about 7 layers. In some of the apocryphal books of Hebrew scripture, it mentions 7 heavens, but I forget. There's another one that actually mentions 10 layers, which is interesting.
How much does that sound like Mormonism? When they talk about the layers of, there's like levels of heaven in Mormonism that you can make.
Well, there's 3. There's the telestial, celestial, and terrestrial kingdom.
I thought it was more than that.
No,
wow.
there's 3. The
celestial,
the celestial was the highest, which that would be like the way it would be like the celestial is people that are saved and that are actually in the presence of God. The terrestrial would people that are still like on the planet after it's been translated. Basically, they're the first removed, but they can still feel God. And then the third, which would be the telestial, is basically outer darkness, where they're cut off from God. Which is kind of not that much different than some Christianity when you think about it. When you think that people like in hell are cut off from God, right?
Isn't the only way to get cut off from God to actually leave Mormonism?
No, you can leave Mormonism and still be. Yeah, no, that's.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not. I think you're confusing that with Jehovah's Witness. They're a lot. You leave Jehovah's Witness and you're just condemned forever to annihilate. Actually, you're annihilated, but.
You're annihilated,
yeah.
So actually it's kind of a better gig.
Well, I think so. I mean, I think annihilation is better than eternal damnation to some fiery pit that I just don't believe in at all.
Yeah.
Speaking of fiery pits, hey Rumpus.
Hey, no, I've just come up to wish everybody happy New Year. Floyd.
Happy New Year, Rumpus.
Did you enjoy your conversation with PZ the other day?
I did. It was good stuff. Yes,
good.
Yeah, it was a good chat. Yes, nice to see. It's good to see that you're making use of your extra room and everything. And PZ seems to be. He seemed to be quite interested in the chat, didn't he? So,
yes, he was. I think he had fun. 24 people in here, and nobody got. No, it wasn't a clusterfuck. How do you like that?
I thought it was cool. Actually, I think people were better behaved than usual. Actually,
than usual. What are you trying to say?
But I still say I've got to hold it against him. He's got a big black mark with him. He's a supporter of atheism plus.
I know, and I'm not going to lie. I don't agree with him on the atheist plus, the SJW stuff. But I mean, what are you going to do, right? Nobody's perfect, so.
Yeah, indeed. But yeah, and his treatment of Thunderfoot seemed to be pretty important.
Yeah, because I like Thunderfoot, so. Whatever.
Yeah.
But you notice I didn't mention anything about Thunderfoot.
Yeah, I think that's probably the wise thing. I mean, from your point of view, Steve, obviously you've got an interest in encouraging, and not challenging these people on the sensitive subjects. So
right.
I can understand.
Yeah, I kind of know the terrain to keep people from going ballistic. But anyways, hey, Red's Rhetoric. Hey, I know you're at work. Happy New Year. We're counting down, not to New Year, but we're actually counting down to the termination of the Dumb Fuck of the Year. So it's more important to me than the New Year. Hey, Jeremy Pace, I saw that you said hi too. I didn't mean to ignore you, so Happy New Year to you. Happy Jesus, and everybody else. Come on in. We have plenty of room. We can hold 25 people in here. So the link is actually on my Facebook page. It's on my G Plus page. It's actually in the video description. Just click it. It'll show that nobody's in here, but just ignore that as usual. We are in here. So Slim Jim, come on in.
Okay, I'm off to go to sleep. Good luck, Holy Spackle there. Get better with the flu. And I will speak to you tomorrow, no doubt, or something, or sometime soon.
You got it, man.
Right.
Yeah, it's already New Year's over there,
like
right?
More than 10 people. How can you have more than 10 people in the hangout?
Because I'm good. Did you see it yesterday? The whole film strip at the bottom was just icons.
Yeah. Yeah, well... I guess you
can have 25.
You never actually go on air with the Google Hangout itself. You go on air like something else with another technology.
Google Hangout, the business account can hold 25. It's more than just 10.
Oh, okay.
That's why. And so it's also snipe proof too, because even if they got in, they can't do any damage because they have I'm turning down the camera if somebody I don't know comes in. I'll leave it open because like you're using your camera, but if somebody comes in I don't know, I can turn down the bandwidth for everybody. So they can't show anything, and there's no ability to snipe because it doesn't produce an external chat. So I don't mind getting a link out there. So So it's pretty nifty. Plus, again, doing it this way, you can have a little more graphics and make it a little bit more interactive. Plus, I like being able to see the chat on the screen. That
Yeah.
that's nice. And I can change the scene pretty rapidly if I want to go to like this scene or
Yeah,
there you
Sock
go.
account did a Deeper in Dogma. I'm not sure what technology he used, but he did Deeper in Dogma where, yeah, the live hangout was in a little window, and he had the live feed on the side.
Mm-hmm.
The YouTube uh, you know uh, feed on the side.
Yeah, I can do it like this too. Like, I can just sit here like in the chair, literally here and in on the screen, and then if I want to put the live feed up, I can, or excuse me, the live chat. But I'm only allowed 4 transitional screens with XSplit Basic, so it kind of sucks. I would love to have like at least 10, 20 screens to transition from, but I'm kind of limited to what I can do. This is my favorite though. Isn't it a cute kitty? You don't like the kitty? Anybody? Backle. Lloyd.
I'm back. What's up? I'm sorry.
You don't
I
like
have a
the,
phone call
you don't
coming
like
in.
you don't like the kitty?
What kid?
Because that was, I'm not looking at the YouTube feed. Maybe I should. Let me see.
Oh, you can't see the outside feed. That's why.
Oh yeah. I see it now.
Meow.
Yeah.
I am your god.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Red Eric's talking. Slim Jim. I love Slim Jim's icon with the Macho Man.
Yeah. Yeah, Slim Jim was awesome, man. He got what was it? Basically trounced about his Christianity over in Christian rooms. I was really actually kind of surprised. I'm like, here's a person who is a professed Christian. He goes into the CCP's rooms and they basically call him not a Christian. They insult him. Why are you hanging out with atheists? Why are you hanging out with agnostics? Why don't you hang out with your own, kind of people, meaning the brotherhood of Christianity? And he just put them in their place. He's straight up, hey, they're not nicer than you guys, and even though they're non-believers, they sure kind of exude better Christianic principles than many of the members of the Cloud Car Posse. Probably, if not all of them. General Han Solo said the same thing. He went over there and chastised them and said, look, guys, you guys are sitting there trying to be Christians, and yet none of you guys do what Christ commanded you to do and have a little bit of a tolerance to people. And how are you going to spread the word to the non-believer if you don't want to even have a conversation with any of them? So,
Well, what's hard is people aren't having conversations with the person that they're talking to. They're having conversations with the argument they would prefer to have.
well, that's true too. Of course, yeah. I mean, Darz is famous for that. Right? I mean, he'll try to manipulate the conversation to some kind of argument that he wants to have when it comes to like the uniformity of nature or some philosophical, logical bullshit. He's a one-trick pony with that. In fact, he does even answer questions. I mean, he basically does this bastardization of the Socratic method such that he continues to ask you questions over and over and over again. If you never noticed, ask him a question. He'll turn it right back around and ask you a question.
Yeah, it's very easy to do. All you have to do is make one knowledge claim, one truth claim, and it doesn't matter what it is. You could say it rained today.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah. Say, well, how do you know that?
How do you know that? He loves that. He said that
Yeah.
the other day in Truce Hangout. He's like, how do you know that? I'm like, really?
Yeah. So it doesn't. Yeah. Again, it doesn't matter what you say. You said, if you say, oh, I had a little trouble getting into this hangout a minute ago. How do you know that?
It's just a very dishonest way to have a conversation.
Yeah. And, if you actually want to engage with them, people watching my advice is, oh, I know that based on the presuppositions of my worldview, because that's exactly how he would answer.
And that's fine with that. I say the same thing. I say, I know this because I have presuppositions that I take axiomatically that I can build a framework on. That's how I build knowledge. And within that framework, I know things. If you want to extend it outside that framework, sure, I don't have Cartesian certainty of anything. But you know what? It's irrelevant for me to talk about it.
Yeah. Because I mean, that's all they're doing. Oh well, how does he know things? Oh, because his God made him in his image, and he gave him cognitive abilities and reliable sense perception, so he can know things. So if that story is true, then he can know things. Well, if my story is true as well, then I can know things.
Well, he has to posit a deity to know things, though. That's the difference. He has to posit that his Christian God, which, by the way, he redefines slightly odd. Did you? I don't. Like I said, you didn't listen to it this morning, but he was trying to say that in the Christian view, the definition of omnipotence doesn't mean omnipotent. And I do understand that argument that there's limitations. You can't have a God that has the ability to do things that are contradiction. But the way he makes it sound like he's actually redefining the word omnipotent to say, hey, you don't understand how Christians use this word, which means omnipotent means not omnipotent. So I thought that was a really weird argumentation from Darwin's, where he just basically says, all powerful doesn't mean all powerful.
That's a twist. That's not historically true at all. You say, oh, what I mean is that God is consistent with his nature. That's saying nothing. Every nature is consistent with itself. That says nothing. It's totally meaningless. It's like saying, it's like even when like Craig will say, what is good in my worldview is and what is truth in my worldview is what comports to the mind of God. And what's good, God is the standard. Is God good? Yes, he's good according to his own standard. Well, that's true with any dictator. If you have any dictator, in a dictatorship, what the dictator says goes, right? So that is the standard. But but again, that's totally subjective. It's totally subjective to this dictator's whims. Well, that's what it's reduced to. Morality is reduced down to the decrees of a dictator.
Yeah, well, they can just say, they can reduce it down to anything that God does is good because of the nature of God. But if you took that to the extension to say, well, some, like you said, a dictator, Kim Jong-un or Stalin, or whatever. Hey, well, he's our illustrious leader. Whatever he does must be good. Doesn't necessarily make what he does good. I'm not saying whether God does good things or bad things, but his argument, I find the way he promotes it, literally is completely bullshit.
Yeah, well, with the Earthos dilemma, the Earthos dilemma is something good because God decrees it, or does God decree it because it's good? They basically punt and say, yeah, they pick the former. Yes, what is good is because God decrees it. Just the simple fact that God decrees it makes it good because it's based on his nature, and so whatever he says, that defines the goodness, and it's irrelevant. It doesn't matter what he says. If it simply just comes out of his mouth, that's what makes it good.
Hey, Slim.
Happy New Year's, Slim Jim.
Happy New Year's. How's your kids? Spend some time with them tonight?
Yep, we're playing a game right now.
Awesome. And you're letting them win, I assume, right? Like a good parent?
Yes.
Good.
Of course. But hey, I heard you guys talking about everybody's favorite unpleasant Christian. And so I just wanted to tell you real quick. I wandered into Ronnie's room the other day. He was in there. And I just wanted to say, hey, so like the last 2 days, have you gone to look at my channel like I suggested to see whether or not I was?
I can barely hear you.
Yeah, you're breaking up a little bit.
Can you hear me?
A lot, actually.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's better. Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, the phone's sitting on the floor. So, anyways, right, I was going to go talk to Darwin's today. Heard you guys talking about him. So I saw him in Ronnie's room, and I went to go talk to him and say, hey, did you check my YouTube channel like I suggested to see all of my pro-Catholic videos? And as soon as I get in, he kicks me.
Yeah, well, he had admin, right? I mean, he's even said a couple times.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, well, I'm an admin on this channel, and he just arbitrarily starts kicking people. Yeah, again,
like no questions asked, just goodbye.
Well, I mean, I assume you're not going to go in there anymore in 2017, right?
Probably not. I just wanted to see if. Yeah. Well, I was all set to record it and then post the footage or post the video on my wall. And
I mean,
Does
somebody.
Darwin's actually has his own channel? Because I just see him float into other people's channels.
No,
No.
Darwin's goes to Ronnie's.
Oh,
Yeah.
Darwin's such a.
I mean, I understand Darwin's Greatest Hits wants footage for his channel. I get that, and people do need to engage with him in order to get that. But I'm just not.
Well, who the hell is Darwin's Greatest Hits anyway? Which Pal Talker is it?
I have my
Anybody have a guess?
suspicions, but I don't know for certain.
Yeah.
I
No,
mean,
we know it's one.
I think it's actually Skylar and Joe Sonseed, and I think Skylar actually is Joe Sonseed. That's my conspiratorial thing for the 2017. Oh, you never see him at the same place at the same time. Think about it.
But I mean, they've been on live hangouts with cams, and they look totally different.
You know what? Makeup and it could do wonders.
That beard, man.
Yeah, the beard gives it away. Look into his eyes. The eyes are the same. The eyes are the.
Anybody that wears a hat inside is dishonest. Oh wait, I'm wearing a hat right now.
Yeah, you're wearing a hat. You can't be trusted. Let me see here. Actually, here. Let me see if I can.
No, Darwin is like, okay. So, like when I do my show, like, it's supposed to be all just, like, everybody has tea and cake and we get along pretty well. Doesn't matter if you're Veckel. Doesn't matter if you're, trying to think of somebody, Dragnot, whoever, right? Mm-hmm. Everybody get tea and cake. It's good stuff. And I had my interview with one of my wish lists, which was actually Shanna Rocky. I had wanted to meet Shanna Rocky, and I never got the privilege to meet her because at the time when I joined the Great Debate team, she had folded shop, right? So I heard her from Reputation, and I had seen the videos on her channel, and I thought, wow, it's too bad I never got to meet this lady. And so in passing and talking with Ozzy, I said, one of the people I would really like to interview sometime would actually have been Shanna, but she's not around anymore. She's just a creeper. And he's like, oh, I can fix that. I can arrange that. And I was like, oh my gosh. So I was super excited because it's nice to have a deist to talk to, because there's not very many.
Very far.
And she's pretty bright, and she holds her own pretty well. And, I just really wanted to, visit and talk with her. And it was really good. It was one of my colder interviews in the sense that I never got to really talk to her beforehand, like other people.
Yeah, she's very, very cool to talk to.
I really enjoy her. I like her a lot.
Hey, have you watched the outside feed?
And then after we have our interview, somebody, I don't know who, dropped the link to Darwin's Deity, and he comes in, and it's our off air, and he just starts breaking the hangout. He starts doing Darwin's Deity things, and we just were like, no, we're not going to have this. No, stop this. I said, you know what? This is not your time for your little spiel. I said, you know what? You have like 2 minutes to wrap it up. And, 2 minutes go by, and he's still going on and on and on. And then finally, Christopher Moudy's like, the lady said you had 2 minutes.
They're a cute couple.
And then all of a sudden he starts, calming down, and all of a sudden they start talking about, where they're from and food. And all of a sudden Darwin's Deity for like a half a second turns into a human being and starts talking about food and laughing.
He can be normal sometimes.
And being nice.
Yeah, he can be normal.
And I'm
sometimes.
like, wow.
Hey, are you?
So he doesn't have to be a prick, but he likes to be a prick.
Sure.
So this has got to be some sort of therapy to him, right?
Well, he likes the negative attention, but hey, by the way, somebody had mentioned in the chat about giving these guys a voice. No, actually, you know what? I deleted my entire block list. Any one of them could come in here, with the exception of G-Man, only for the fact that he has his bullhorn. That's the only reason. If he didn't have that bullhorn, I wouldn't care. But Darwin's and True have always been invited to come in here. I've never stopped them. I've never blocked them. Yeah, actually, neither one has been blocked ever. If they wanted a voice, they could have it on here. I would have a conversation with them, but they just obviously won't. But if you want to look in the outside chat, I mean, I can pretend to be anybody I want. Like, if you look in the outside chat, I'm actually Dragnot right now. Hi, I'm Dragnot. You guys can't see the outside chat, but... See, I'm actually Dragnot. I've been telling you this for a long while. Can you guys see that? Yes, I suck at graphics, but hey, I still look like Dragnot.
I don't know if you look like Dragnot. I just see Thug Life when I'm looking at it on my phone.
Give it 12 seconds to update. There is a brief delay. It doesn't show for you? I don't know. Phones
Yeah,
are
I see
weird.
it.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm working on this is a project of mine where I can actually just I got to get rid of the white area and then I'll just use like this as a transparency, but it's easier said than done. But anyways,
Anyway, Darwin's deity. Yeah. I mean, I'm team theist, and I gotta tell you, like, don't enjoy the man.
well, I mean, you got to remember these people. Just because they're theists, just because they're Christians, doesn't mean they play on the same team as you. Okay, I mean, it's no different than the atheist community where you have people like Down Corner and Unstoppable and Outbound. And
Down
these guys,
corner.
nobody wants
I want
associations
a down
with them.
corner to represent all of atheism right now.
He what? Down Corner's what?
Yes, down corner. Down corner is in styles are going to be the representation of all
Oh
atheism.
God. Well, Stizer claims to be agnostic, and I can't keep explaining to him he's not agnostic. He doesn't know what the word means properly. I don't think. But I mean, these guys don't represent atheism, just like these other people don't represent Christianity. So,
Well, in a sense, people do. It's just that there's all these different sections, and then it's like, well, who's better fits? You know, like, is G-Man actually a pastor and a scholar? No, he's not. You know, is Ken as no.
no, but people do
Now,
look to them for I don't know why, but they look to them for some kind of
Matt
spiritual message
Matt
and guidance, don't they?
Slick actually has some schooling behind his name.
Sure, but he doesn't take correction very easily.
Yeah, I think he has like a master's in theology or something like that.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
he's legit. I mean, I think he's a well-educated guy. But when you have somebody even more educated on a specific topic like logic, like Dr. Alex Malpass telling you that your argument is completely flawed. I mean, completely freaking flawed. It's time to take stock and go, okay, maybe I don't know about this as much as I think I do, and maybe I should take this argument off the table. But he doesn't do that. He continues to go on and say, hey, the doctor didn't say that my argument was completely wrong. He just said that it was completely wrong. It's like, really, Matt? Come on. Your argument was completely flawed.
Hey, has Darwin's ever gotten to the same room as Alex Malpass?
No, I don't believe so.
I don't think so. No.
I guess the next question would be, has Randy Savage ever fought a 5-year-old? Because
Yeah.
it would be about the same thing.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine that conversation going well. I mean, look at what happened when Darwin's engaged with Ozzy. I mean, Ozzy was just like, is this guy for fucking real? And then he starts.
Can you just imagine, though?
Yeah, he starts having a conversation with him. He asks, follow-up questions that most rational people would have asked. And because Jack had asked a specific question that Ozzy was just about to ask, he wouldn't answer it because he's like, oh, I don't answer questions from the POW talkers. And Ozzy's like, fuck off if you're going to have this kind of conversation and not answer questions because you know that you don't want to answer them just because they came from a source you don't like. That's bullshit. But that's how he does it.
Yeah, it's a waste. It's not worth talking to him at all. Again, if I have mods and he comes in a room, I'm just going to boot him right away.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to boot him if he ever comes in here. He has never been in here before, but but I can control him in this room. But in other rooms, no, I won't ever deal with him. That's why he said last time he was talking about me. He's like, Steve won't engage me. He ran from me last time I came in a room. He's scared, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, I just will not engage with him in another room because there's no purpose to it. Because people will shut you down. He talks over you. He has mod control. You cannot actually have an actual conversation because he's limiting you. But in here, he doesn't have that advantage. He's always been welcome to, and I'll be happy to talk to him, but he won't come in.
We should lock Darwin's deity in with Matt Bell and see who comes out living.
Oh, God.
Darwin's will try to deal with evolution every now and then. And if he doesn't do well, he'll just switch over to precept. But I think, and his arguments are just the same old, rehashed arguments. There's nothing unique about that.
My money would be on Bell out of the two.
Darwin's and Bell did talk to each other. Bell just brought up, the precept doesn't work because, a Muslim can make the same argument and stuff like that, which is true.
Matt's salty, though. I mean, he's just like, he's bitter that really people don't take him that seriously, and that he keeps saying that my channel's like an echo chamber. And yet, I mean, anybody's welcome to come in here. So how can it be an echo chamber? I don't think he knows what echo chamber means.
Yeah. Yeah, but Bell
Well, it
wants to
depends
be.
on what you mean as an echo chamber. Like
Echo chamber
like,
to me is when you
I
kick
got
out
a phone.
anybody that disagrees with you and you just keep people in here that actually are just
Well,
placating to you. That's an echo
that's
chamber.
extreme. I mean,
That's
I've
what
had
it
that.
is.
I've had Calvinists boot me just because they don't like what I have to say about their precious
Yeah.
theology.
Well, that's an
You
echo
know,
chamber, right?
I understand. Right. But there's also a strange sort of high school nature that happens in this community that's echo chamber-ish in its own way. And it can cross to theist and atheist or deist or agnostic. And it's more like a us against them clique, and you put in X situation or X person is the odd man out. And then it's like a very, public pummeling of that person.
I mean, there is an us against them mentality, true, but when you look at it, the echo chambers that they have are people that literally are lockstep with the young Earth creationist or intelligence line belief, right? So in here, though, people come in here and say, hey, you know what? I disagree with evolution. I'm a creationist. And we'll let them talk and have a great conversation. We won't shut them down. Don't boot them. I mean, obviously, there's a time to shut down conversation after hours and hours and hours of getting anywhere, or somebody comes in trolling. But over there, they don't really allow for that. They say they want people to come in and say, "Hey, give us evidence for evolution." But all the people that can give them evidence have all been blocked. Every one of them. And then he has the audacity to say, "Well, I block people because they're spouting off racial epithets." What is that? Like Hot Dog said, 1% at most. I mean, I think that's way high number. I don't think it's 1%. I certainly know that nobody in the great debate community that I'm aware of has ever leveled racist remarks to any of the Cloud Car Posse. I certainly don't.
I haven't heard you be racist. I haven't heard Hogtie be racist. Haven't heard Floyd be racist. Haven't heard Brenda be racist.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Talking about
What's that?
Ronnie? We're talking about Ronnie.
Just all of them in general. Just all of them in general at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even distinguish between them anymore. To me, they're like one conglomeration of just stupidity.
They're not really interesting or significant. I think much more interesting would be for you to continue on the way that you've been going by having people like PZ Myers and Aaron Ra on your channel, and simply leave them in the dust.
That's my
That's
intent.
what I would.
That's
That's
my intent.
what I would do.
Did that surprise
Just
you,
leave them in
Brenda?
the dust.
Did that surprise you that Aaron came by?
Yeah.
A little bit.
I've been
Yes.
I've been hoping that he would. I've kind of conversed with him a little bit, so that like wasn't completely out of the blue that he probably was not who the fuck is this person kind of thing. But I was kind of surprised he came in. But that was awesome because I think he really enjoyed himself.
He's surprisingly not snobby, Aaron.
Not at all.
I mean, I've been very vocal about things that just drive me nuts about Aaron, particularly the way he handles philosophy and things.
Mm-hmm.
I used to watch him on Dogma debate and just want to break my screen. And then, but he's not snobby. I've noticed. Like, he's gone to smaller channels and graced them with his presence.
Yeah, you know what? I think a lot of them enjoy the smaller things occasionally. I mean, like when Arn came in, he was laughing. I mean, he was having a fun time. I mean, I think they enjoyed that kind of just kicking it kind of thing. Grassroots, I guess, right?
Yeah. Hopefully that will be able to continue.
I felt bad though because King Crocoduck came in and I wanted to have a little talk with him for a while, and then he got overshadowed by PZ. I felt so bad.
He did kind of get.
It doesn't bother. Casey has no ego at all. He does not think of himself as a YouTube person or anything like that. He doesn't realize a lot of people like his stuff a lot. He's very, very down to earth. Smart,
it's funny because I didn't start on YouTube, so like a lot of these celebrities, like quote unquote, the like Crocoduck, bigger YouTubers, Logic. I had to catch up and figure out who these people were. And then I was like, oh, Steve Shives. You know, I went completely backwards. I went from obscurity to trying to dig in and figure out, like, well, where am I? Who are these people? And where are they in this map of whatever this place is, you know?
I didn't really know who Steve Shives was until recently. I defined recently. I mean, last couple of years. But he was on Helena's channel, a year ago? Maybe a little less? You remember that?
I like Steve Shives, actually.
I don't
no
know
idea
much
who
about
he
him. I just no reason to invite him in as a guest because I really don't know much about him.
I like his book reviews. He'll go through like a multi-part series on one book. You know, he'll do like a couple chapters at a time.
What is
Yeah.
Krill doing?
Usually
What are you
pretty
eating? Are you eating something? Oh, look
Besides
at
some
that!
steak
Yeah.
and rice, look at this fork. It's
Hells
like
yeah.
a fork with like
Krill,
chopsticks.
I have to say, you look really handsome when you're dressed up.
Look at him.
Oh, thank you.
He's got such
Does-
pretty
does
eyes.
he wash up?
No,
Does he clean up nice?
I did. I noticed that on Facebook. I was scrolling through and I was like, "Who's that guy?" Oh, wow, wow.
You know, he has a mind too.
So I was like-
You're just objectifying him.
I'm not.
I don't
You're just
know.
supporting the patriarchal system.
All I'm saying is, looks like he's a good dad, and I think he's single, girls.
He's gay. All men are gay besides me. That's the way it is. All right, he is a pretty boy. I'll give him that.
He's not even paying attention.
He doesn't give a shit. He's got like yum food.
I'm trying to pimp him out, and he does not even care.
I don't want a girlfriend or a boyfriend or anything. I'm happy being me.
See, that's
He
how
says
I
ain't
am. See,
no
that's how I
time
am.
for that.
Yeah, why bother?
Well, you had that lyrical thing going on for a little bit.
Yeah, that was educational. No, lyrical's cool.
That's probably the best descriptor I've ever had for. That was awesome.
Yeah, no, lyrical's good people. No ill will at all. Oh, do we have anybody? You know what? I'm not even paying attention to the live feed. I'm sorry, people. My bad. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but again, I think you need to have some good arguments for an older Earth. Try to get them to accept that, and then and then the dominoes will fall from there. So again, I think you really just don't go with just biology. Go through with all the other sciences, geology and cosmology and stuff like that. Just to prove, the dating methods and so forth. Things like ice layers.
Well, I try to do that, but I'm not heavy into geology. I leave that for other people. But I mean, when you're talking to these people, you got to remember they have no education at all, right? So they don't even understand basic concepts. Physics and maths are not their friend.
They're pretty resistant. They're pretty resistant to acquiring anything that conflicts with their worldview.
Well, they're told not to,
If
right?
you want to show people things like Age of the Earth, you have to kind of. I'm trying to think how to describe this. I mean, it is geology. I mean, and they wouldn't. It's just tough because oftentimes you have to debunk some of the weird theories that are kind of associated with refuting the age of the Earth, like really weird theories. Like you're going to run into weird ones. Like, for instance, Mount St. Helens is often used for young Earth creation as to say, well, this is an example of how the sediments can layer differently than what they're saying. Look how quickly these sediments can show, like that, can fool you into thinking that this happened, a long time ago. But really, it just took, in a matter of hours, this whole mountain fell down, and they'll actually try to use it as a way to debunk.
Hey,
Well, that was
hush!
trivial.
You're giving them ideas.
Well, that one's so trivial because
Well,
Steve Austin and those guys.
I've been to the Young Earth Creationist Museum here. I've seen this on display. I
But
can show you
that's
some.
outright deception. I mean, seriously, those things are so bad that the person who promotes that, like Steve Austin, who is a geologist, knows outright he's lying. That is as basic as you could possibly get. To try to compare pyroclastic flow to like layers of sedimentary layers or igneous rock. He knows it's complete bullshit because when you look at it, yeah, it does look like layers. But these were flows, like there was like 3 flows of the picture he showed one time saying, oh look, here's a canyon that formed when Map St. Helens did this. It's a canyon of fucking ash. It's not rock. It's pyroclastic flow that created those things.
Oh,
It's not in the same realm of reality. They're 2 completely different things, and he knows this.
I have an idea for a video, Steve. I have an idea for a video, Steve.
Who?
You know how you live pretty close, and I live close to you?
Mm-hmm.
I should totally film you, and we should go to the Young Earth Creation Museum here in San Diego.
There's a younger. What? There's one in there?
Yeah,
I didn't know that. I was
there's
just down
a
there.
Young Earth in San Diego. Yeah. It's really weird, and I would love for your reactions.
Well, that might make
what.
an interesting move. That might make an interesting video. Yeah.
The next time I'm down there, which could be any time, I could go down there and visit my friend Christina anytime. So, yeah, I might be willing to do something like that. She lives.
Is that Christina the Pagan?
No. Her name's actually Christine. I call her Christine, but her name's Christine. I've known her for.
Christina the Pagan.
No, I've known her for 20. I don't know, maybe 20 years. She's been a neighbor of mine and somebody I used to go out with. But anyways, she lives off of. Do you know where the pier is? That pier in San Diego.
There's a lot of piers.
Well, the big long pier that's right off. I mean, seriously, you can see Tijuana from. I don't even know the street it's on. It's just.
Oh, Imperial, the Imperial one.
Is that what it's called? It's got that little restaurant at the very end.
Oh yeah, that's in Imperial Beach.
Okay,
yeah.
she's about 15 minutes from there. How far away are you, or give or take?
I'm about 15 minutes from there, and Sam the Scientist is about 15 minutes from me, and
Well, yeah, Sam would be fun to do that too. Can you imagine Sam going to the Young Earth Creationist Museum? They really have one down there.
Yeah,
I wouldn't watch it if you made a video on it.
It's in Santee. I'm telling you, I've had to go forced because I used to work at church, and they forced me to go 3 times.
They wouldn't kick you out. I mean, I would think that somebody goes in there and they're like just being disparaging, they'd be kicked out.
Well, see, that's the next trick. I'm wondering how much videotaping and stuff you can get away with there.
Probably not a lot. They limit media coverage because they don't want bad publicity. Because I mean, again, these people know they're being dishonest. Not. By the way, I'm getting an echo. Who has a mic open? It's not the people that work there, right? The people that work there, I think, would probably actually believe this bullshit. But the people that run these things, like Eric Hovind and Ken Hovind, Ken Ham, they know this shit's bullshit. Matter of fact, when I was talking to Aaron's like, yeah, Eric knows full well that this is complete bullshit. He does this for fucking money. He doesn't believe it. He doesn't believe in any of this stuff. I mean, Aaron's pretty well convinced that he knows he's being a duplicitous little shit. I'm kind of convinced of it too. I don't think Eric Hovind believes half of this shit. I may be naive, but whatever.
I think he believes it. I think his mind has been rewired to.
Maybe you're right. I mean, I could be wrong on that. I mean, could you be wrong on that? Yeah, on that one I possibly could. But I will tell you this: I don't think I'm wrong that he knows he's lying about certain things.
When I was in high school, that Creation Museum had the canopy theory up as a theory. I remember that.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing that on the Discovery Channel too, as like this idea that they had pitched, and I was like, really?
I used to believe canopy theory.
And then when that got debunked, they decided to kind of, do away with that display, and they don't really talk about it anymore. It's really kind of interesting. So it's interesting to hear theists and in the Google Plus community sometimes start talking about canopy theory because even the Creation Museum doesn't use it anymore.
Oh God, it's the idea. So I used to know all this stuff probably 2 years ago. Canopy theory is the belief that there was a water shield over the Earth,
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Well, and if you were a biblical literist, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
because
I
of the
know.
firmament thing, you know.
Well, there are some people
That's
still
because that's the
believe
source
that.
of the. Because like you need to have some source of the water. Because I mean,
We get
you
people
could
in
have
here that
just.
believe that.
I'm
right?
still trying to. Wait, what?
We get people that, why is the sky blue? Because the water is up there. Which is funny because, I mean, without water, the sky wouldn't be blue. But they believe there's actually an ocean up there that's causing this.
Ugh.
And I'm like, wow.
It's sort of understandable.
Ken Hovind stuck, believed in the Campy theory. I'm not sure if he still does. I assume he does. I don't think, I don't think his
His was a
arguments ever
modified
changed.
version. That's why he called it like the Hovind theory. But I don't know the difference between his and any other. But
Can we just all agree that he's a huckster?
oh
Get
yeah,
over it?
that's what I'm saying. I mean, they may believe in some things, but they know for the most part a lot of the shit they're doing is dishonest. There's no doubt in my mind about that. You can't build $100 million ark, get in like 26 exhibits, and realize that the thing doesn't float. The thing could never float. It could never hold that many animals. You can never account for speciation rates. You can't do that. He knows this shit's bullshit.
But the Bible says it's true. Therefore,
Well, they try to do the kinds thing. They'll say, well, there's the bear, and that's one kind, and then there's a feline, and that's another
And,
kind.
and like the and like the criteria like for defining kinds is so vague.
Well, I've had people
Right,
tell me
so then-
species or
but then
family.
Steve,
You bring out
have you ever
animals
seen
like
a dog?
or
Have you
a
ever seen a
hyena.
dog?
What kind is
Have you
that?
ever seen a dog? Have you ever seen a dog turn into a non-dog, Steve? I mean, come on.
After it died, turned to ashes.
I mean, you can walk through and you can pick some of the stranger animals, like a hyena, and say, well, is that a canine or a feline? Which one is it? It's actually closer to feline.
Yeah.
A lot of people will think it's a canine.
Hyenas are weird. They are a strange animal.
Their genitalia is absolutely bizarre.
Yeah, that's what I'm
I've
talking
had a few women
about.
like that.
They're matriarchal, aren't they? Though too. The
If I
social
remember
structure.
right. Yeah, I think they are. And they're quite the problem solver. When I worked at a famous attraction in my city, they were one of the few animals that got out and escaped. They're problem solvers.
Smart little bastards, aren't they? But when somebody says, "Oh, well, kind means species," and I always ask them, "Well, then why don't you just use the word species then?" But then you start realizing that they're not using it as species. But they're just brainwashed to this stuff. They're told this stuff to parrot. I mean, you don't find anybody using these kind of terms like kind that really look into biology. It just doesn't happen. Let me see
I
what
remember the
everybody else
first
is
time
doing. Get some
I
people in
told
here.
I told my atheist friend about canopy theory when I was a Christian, and I was like, "Well, you know, he was trying to explain to me that Noah's Ark was like ridiculous and stupid," and I'm sitting here as a canopy theory young Earth creationist trying to explain to him, "Well, I learned about all this in school. I can tell you how it works." And I just mentioned canopy theory, and he just laughed at me like that is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
Now, did you know at the time you didn't understand it?
What's that?
Did you know at the time you didn't understand it? I mean, do you really, at thinking back, go, you know what? Yeah, I had no idea what the fuck I even meant by canopy theory or what I meant by water.
I mean,
you know.
I went to a private school, and they spent probably an entire science class on canopy theory and explaining all the details. All I know is,
Oh my God.
I knew enough to believe it, but I didn't have any way of explaining it. To
How would
somebody
that
else.
work with fucking basic physics? How would you spend a whole course learning about something that bullshittery?
no, I went through the exact same thing.
Really? You too?
Yep, same thing. I was private Christian school when I wasn't being homeschooled.
You both are
So you guys, did you guys at some point believe that the firmament still existed? Like there was still a firmament around the Earth, but you couldn't see it?
No.
Yes.
No, that.
Yeah.
Oh
like,
my god.
Wow.
So that's
Yeah.
like,
Oh, I was batshit crazy.
yeah. So like the
Well,
firmament.
what
I was a homeschool kid. What was your excuse?
Christian private
what is the
school. I went
firmament
to a-
supposed to
I went
be?
to
What
a
is
rich
it?
kid school.
What is the firmament supposed to be? Is it glass?
It
Yeah.
could be. Yeah.
Yeah, it's molten It's solid, but it's molten. Because things move through it, right? You know, the sun and the moon and the stars, they move across it.
Okay.
But yeah, it's glass-like. I can give you other descriptions in the Bible of
there's some people. There was one video I found. Maybe this guy was trolling. There was one person who thinks that's the reason the Challenger blew up because it hit the firmament.
Oh, I had that yesterday. Somebody said that they're like, yeah, that's why the space shuttle blew up, and that's why rockets blow up. They hit the firmament, and I'm like, so wait a minute, rockets go up, and they just have some exploded, but some have actually made it through there. So what is this differentiation between you pick and choose which ones are real and which ones aren't?
Well, like rockets have been going past that firmament into space for 29 years before the Challenger disaster. So, what's their excuse?
I have to say, I think people like, Ken Ham and Eric Olden are probably doing far more of the devil's work than any atheist in this room.
Oh, I think a lot of Christians probably would agree with you on that.
I have said that so many times. Like, you have no idea. But you know what was so funny? What's been said in return, Slim, since you're also a theistic evolution, is that people believe...
I'm an atheist. What are you talking about? Darwin said I was an atheist.
Oh, yeah, you're an atheist. Because we all know that Catholics aren't really Christian. And Protestants are.
Let me tell you what you believe there, Slim, okay? So, I'll tell you what you believe.
You're an atheist, too.
Yeah, I'm an atheist, too. Everybody's an atheist because atheists don't exist. So I don't get it.
Call you a mesotheist at this point.
That's funny too because a mesotheist is a theist. You cannot be an atheist mesotheist. It doesn't make sense. A mesotheist is somebody who acknowledges God exists but hates him and doesn't want to worship him. Now you could be an anti-theist atheist. But that's
the reason why he says a mesotheist is because that way it goes with the Romans 8 thing. You see what I'm saying? Like, everybody knows, but I can't remember what it is.
The knowledge of God is written in everybody's hearts. But then the problem that they have is how can they sit around going around to, oh, you're an atheist, and then they say, oh, well, no such thing as an atheist. It's just complete bullshit. Very confusing. I don't know what I am anymore. It's just I'm having an existential crisis over this. I don't think I exist. What's that?
Apparently Slim's an atheist.
Apparently he's an atheist, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's all over my YouTube, my G+ page, right?
I mean, I'm an atheist, too. I mean, I've been called Jezebel spirit, atheist. I would gladly drop kick you into the lake of fire. I would gladly execute you. Nice. I would gladly watch you burn from my seat in heaven. These are all things that have been written to me. I mean, join the club.
Yeah, and then you get people in the Clown Car Posse going, oh, people say some mean things about me. I'm going to block them all. I'm like, dudes, if you guys have this thin of skin, then you don't need to be fucking on the internet, man. I'm sorry. We've all had bullshit said about us. You know what? I don't sit there and wake up and go, oh my God, this person, told me that I'm going to burn in hell. I don't sit there and think that way. I would be wasting my time to do so. You want to think I'm going to burn in hell? Think that, but I don't believe in a burning hell. Even if I do decide to ever be a theist, that's not my type of deity. Sorry. What do you want? I could accept annihilationism even more than I could this burning thing. I think that was all contrived to get people to join the church back in the day, right? It was a join the church or burn in hell. Those are your two options.
I am of the sort that I think annihilationism makes more sense and conforms closer to Judaism to me than not.
I think people believed that for quite a while, didn't they? Like Floyd, didn't they?
There were a couple different schools of thought on it. Like, I know some believed that you would, like, you would go to Gehenna, which was like the supernatural trash heap, as it were. There were some that I think that some of them believed in outright hell, some that believed in annihilation. I don't think Jewish thought was uniform on the subjects.
Yeah,
although you can correct me if I'm wrong.
True. Yeah, there's not one consistent view of the afterlife. You have the concept of Sheol, which was a very early Hebrew view, and basically, all humans went there. When they died, the righteous and the wicked, and it was very like a very dreary existence, because it's hard to picture yourself totally dead, right? Totally annihilated. It's like, it's just hard to vision like that. So you can think of Sheol like you're at a Greyhound bus stop waiting for a bus that will never come. It's not it's not like burning hell, but it's just very boring and
It's like a DMV for the rest of eternity.
yeah. And then later the concept of hell came on board, and there's a view is that that everyone would be resurrected, and then judged. Someone would go to heaven, someone would go to hell. Then there's also, like in the Pauline epistles, you have Paul saying only the Christians would be raised. Everyone else would simply just remain dead. And then you have the Sadducees in an action. They just believe relation. Once you're dead, you're dead, and then that's reflected in the book of Ecclesiastes, where it says a live dog is better than a dead lion, and it says the dead know nothing.
I know a lot of living people that know nothing.
Yeah. So it's all over the board. It's all over the board.
I think hell as a bus stop is pretty effective. I think I might convert right now because that is frightening. Just spend forever in some empty institutional space. Oh my God.
What I find very fascinating is if you argue for hopeful universalism, which I've done before, and I've heard Max do before, which is we don't think that is completely like what the Bible's saying, but we could be hopeful for it. We could be hopeful that how there's not an exact number, and how far God's grace will extend and that kind of thing when we're judged. So there's like a hopeful universalism that some people
I don't
can
have
wish
an issue
for.
with that. I can get into that actually.
I think it's very fascinating how upset a fundamentalist will get about that.
Well, because they want to feel special. Right?
Well, it's not just that.
They do.
So pry in. Well, I mean, it could be, but pry in and ask why. And I'm actually kind of fascinated. The not feeling special part, I can see, because one time in a discussion with Matt Bell did mention, what about all the times where I forego having sex? Oh my gosh, will you stop that? All those times I forego having, I don't know, carnal relations, or I held back, and then this guy who didn't ended up in heaven too. What's up with that? Like he's been robbed. And that honestly isn't at all how I feel. So I think that's kind of fascinating that he brought it up. But then, so to him, it's like, that's not fair, right? And then I said, well, what if that person got to clean the toilets of heaven, for all eternity, but he just barely made it in? Does that somehow make it different than you who has a crown? Does that make a difference? And I think that's kind of interesting. But when I listen to, like, if you ask someone like Veckel, and trust me, ask him why he became a Christian. He's extremely fear motivated. That is why he became a Christian. Ask him. He was afraid to go to hell.
I believe it.
So it's very interesting. So because they think that motivates them, and I don't know what motivates Matt Bell. That's interesting, but what motivates
his own narcissism.
What motivates Veckel is fear, which is very fascinating.
With Veckel, he always brings up saying, "Oh, the atheist worldview, there's no ultimate consequences, so why should I care? Why should I care about that? So he's just basically saying, well, I want ultimate significance. I want ultimate happiness. So
kind of
that's why he believes
consequence.
Yeah. Yeah.
I could not believe Floyd posted something where Veckel was claiming that "so what" was a knockout argument.
Yeah,
So what?
That's what his argument to me
So
was.
what?
The so what argument. The so what rebuttal. So what? Hey, Darwin, so what?
You can say about anything. It's like,
Right.
well, in my worldview, I get to go to heaven. Well, so what? Or I don't want to go to hell. Well, so what? I don't want. You can say so what about anything. It's a non-answer.
That doesn't really say anything about the soundness of whether heaven or hell exists. It's just an emotional appeal.
Yeah.
So what?
Like I believe it because I want to believe it. I mean, that's pretty much what it reduces down to, isn't it?
Yeah, it's an appeal of consequences. Yeah. I said that to him. He said, again, he said, so what? Okay, Veckel. Yeah, so, you might as well just put Veckel on our troll list because, he has no argument either. He's just going to keep on saying, so what?
Yeah, but...
I say that a lot, actually. So what? Hey, speaking of so what, hey, Reds, so what?
Hey, what's up? If you guys can hear me and I sound like shit, that's because I'm stuck at my job working on New Year's Eve to New Year's Day.
You do sound very
You always sound like shit.
Well, Housesoy, I would be able to practice if you actually answered my fucking calls on Skype every now and then, you fucking asshole.
Yeah, Houseroy, what's up with you, man? Where you been? Why are you ignoring everybody, man?
I've been traveling to the future, and I wish you like a happy new year.
So who dies next year? Because this year is shit.
No one dies in 2017.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
No deaths.
Someone already has.
Somebody's already died in 2017. Who's already died? It is 2017 somewhere on the Earth right now.
With the 2 minutes that I have left before the end of my lunch, I figured I would just wish you all, a happy new year. Thanks for all the lulls and the joy and the tears and the, confirmation that my face is hideously ugly. Without you guys, this life just wouldn't be worth living. And I hope that I will see you on the other side on the next orbit, the next go around of this sun, this pathetic little solar system in our corner of the universe. So, with that, it's all good.
Do you know that this year's a leap second year too? So 2016 actually has an extra second before we actually hit 2017. So that's a second more of Red's ugly face he has to deal with. Just to let you know.
Hey! I have good news though. I am going into surgery, so with some work, I can look almost not terrible.
Good luck with that.
Kind of like Peter Boyle from Young Frankenstein.
Yeah, man, get that nose fixed, Red. The nose is the big problem, I think.
Hang on. You're saying stop at the nose. Oh, I'm going all the way.
Yeah, the lazy eye bugs me. It's like I'm talking to him, and all of a sudden the eye just like falls to the side. I'm like, dude, put it back.
Wait a minute. Is it the left eye, the right eye, or the center one?
Well, what I'm looking at is kind of like off center right, but I mean I'm looking at the screen straight on, so it's kind of hard to tell.
I see. Anyway, I'm going to head out. Dumb Fuck of the Year is closing in a few hours, so get your final votes in. But with that, I got to get back to work and deal with Dumb Fuck. So with that, take care, everyone, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, buddy. Happy New Year. Hey, so
Happy New Year.
Slim, are you playing Magic by yourself or was it kids?
Nope, I'm playing with my kid.
Okay, because I'm like, how do you play Magic by yourself? What kind of deck do you run?
Right now I'm running a mono black weenie deck full of Death Touch.
Wow, you're just like mean, aren't you? I like the black
Did I
deck.
just say the words mono black weenie deck full of death?
Does that constitute
Death
child
Touch?
abuse?
No, Death Touch is Death Touch is really
Touch.
screwy because you don't even have to really care about your attack power. You basically, if you get attacked by it, then the card gets burned. So it's kind of
that's basically my strategy because like my kid is running mono green, so he's got all sorts of stompies in there. So the only way I can hopefully stave him off long enough to
have you told him that mono green sucks? He should probably run a more of a control deck if he's going to do that.
He ramps like a boss.
I run a blue white. Red black is extremely potent, but I don't run too many.
I like red black. It's fun. Usually I'm either blue and white or blue and black or all three.
How many people here play Magic? By the way, anybody know what the hell we're talking about? I love this game. It's one of my favorite. It's one of my favorite games. Is Magic. It's awesome.
I have never played
Magic's like more than 20 years old now.
No, I don't know. Magic's been
it's
that
still
around,
awesome.
Yeah,
Yes.
I was in high
Maybe.
school when we were playing
Wow.
It's like
Yeah.
18 years ago.
It's 20 years old. That means I was 40. I was 40 when it came out. So no, I
some of
didn't.
those freaking cards are worth some bank. Not the ones he has, probably, but I mean, you
No,
know,
I got a couple that are worth
do you?
at least $20.
Some of them are worth way more than that, but not many. I mean, the ones that were very, very select. I don't have any of those cards though. But
What I wouldn't give for a place at a Tarmogoyfs, those guys run about $150 to $200 a pop.
yeah, I have a basic set and a couple packs, extra packs, but you don't need a super deck to actually do pretty well.
What you should do is go online, download Xmage, XMAGE,
Mm-hmm.
and it's basically Magic Online. You have access to the entire card library from Alpha all the way up to now. It doesn't cost a cent.
Is it just a card sorting program, or is it the game?
Nope, it plays games over network.
Is it the Magic cards, or it's similar to Magic?
Nope, it is 100% Magic.
How is that possible?
Well, because they don't make any money off it, Wizards of the Coast doesn't mind if they actually run it.
Are you serious?
So people will use a lot
X-Mage.
for testing, right? Like if you build a deck for a tournament, you go ahead and throw that together next page, and then open up a game on the game client, and then somebody will drop in. You'll test your deck against them. If you do well,
Can you play
Yeah,
versus a
take it to
computer, or is it
tournament.
always just another player?
yeah, you can play against a computer.
Seriously, you can. So wait a minute. You tell me that there's a site where you can go play Magic the Gathering online and not be charged an arm and a leg.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna have to check this shit out.
Yeah, I'll
Because I have an offline version. I have an old. Remember the old Magic Gathering game, like the really really old one?
yes.
I like that game, by the way. It's a great game, but you can only play it so many times, right? But I cannot ever get the
Well, Magic
Planeswalker
Gathering
to
was
work.
the original, right?
Yeah, Magic. It was called Magic the Gathering Wizards something or other. I may remember. It's like the real original one. It's shitty graphics, but the cards were cool. But every time I try to download and find a copy of like the Planeswalker stuff, I can never get it to work ever. And it's huge
Yeah,
too.
it's jukey.
Dookie, yeah, big time.
I used to play the original game called Wizardry on my Apple II Plus.
Oh, I
I'm going to
remember
go all
that.
the way back.
Yeah, that's old school, dude.
wow.
Yeah, Wizardry is old school.
Yeah.
I will definitely check that
Just
out and
play-
tell you what I think of it.
Hey, when the kids go to bed, I'll get on my my desktop and I'll screen share Xmage so you can go ahead and see what it says.
All right. Yeah, I was playing Hearthstone for a while. If anybody hasn't heard of Hearthstone, it's a free game put out by the makers of World of Warcraft, Blizzard. You could do a lot with it free. I mean, it's slow going when you don't buy some of the stuff, but you could definitely play for free and you're playing against people, and it's not a bad game. I enjoyed it. You guys ever tried Hearthstone?
Yeah, Blizzard. Well, see, I'm a Blizzard player, so that one I've stumbled upon and done.
Yeah, I thought they did a pretty good job on it. And like I said, for a free game, it's not bad. Like I said, it really is slow going though. You can't really build up a really, really powerful deck without investing something into it, but
Junior just fogged me.
oh.
Blizzard's games are fun. I mean, I think Diablo's boring because it just gets old.
I'm not a
Click,
Diablo
click,
fan.
kill, click, click, kill. But I mean, if you like strategy games, the Star. Oh my gosh.
StarCraft.
StarCraft. Thank you.
StarCraft, yeah.
StarCraft is
Actually,
one of the best games ever made.
you guys ever play the game Urquan? What's it called? StarCraft 2, Urquan, something or other?
StarCraft and Warcraft are both great.
What's this?
Not World of Warcraft, just Warcraft.
What's the oh my god, the Urquan. I'm playing it right now, but I don't remember the hell the name of it. I mean, I've been playing it for the last couple of days. Was it Star Control? You guys don't remember that? Or it was like Urquan and Warriors or something. Oh well.
Urquan.
Yeah, Urquan Masters. That's what it is. I like that, and the Battle for Antares. That's a great game. One of the originals. Starflight was a really awesome original game. Yeah, I'm old school. If you guys don't know Starflight, then It came on 2 floppies, 2 5.25-inch floppies, and for its time, it was just amazing how much it could do just on 2 freaking floppies.
That game is almost as old as I am.
Have you heard of it?
Yeah.
Yeah, Starflight's great. And then
But
they had
I had to
Starflight
look
2.
back up.
Yeah, Starflight 2 trade routes of the Orion Nebula. Yeah. I've been playing Mass Effect recently. I got
Oh, that game series is great. I'm one of those people that I'm undecided on whether or not I like the ending or not.
Which one? Mass Effect 1?
No, like the actual end of the first trilogy.
Oh.
I am hyped for the new one though.
Well, I just downloaded Mass Effect 2 and I haven't started it yet, but I don't know.
It's a great game series.
Is it? I mean, I like the first one. I thought it was good. I enjoyed it. So I wanted to play a Mass Effect.
It gets
2.
better.
Okay.
Like it legitimately gets better. Both 2 and 3. I still think, apart from the much disputed ending of the third one that kind of concludes it all, which apart from that, I'd say that the third might actually be the best one.
Did you keep importing your character?
That never worked for me. Like,
Yeah,
no matter how many times I tried, it didn't actually work.
Yeah, I've heard other people had problems with that as well. It's not that big of a deal to not.
Which kind of sucks because it. No, it's like the only thing is like you get certain dialogues you wouldn't normally otherwise get because you would still have, or you would have established relationships between characters.
That's true. Yeah.
So you would have other dialogue options, but it doesn't really impact the real story.
It's pretty immersive though, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is.
Lucifer's like I'm farming.
And it's also one of the
Older
games
War.
that.
Who the hell goes to Older War anymore? Lucifer?
It's one of the.
Sorry, go ahead.
It's one of the only games I've actually sat down and just read the lore, like just actually read as much of it as you can.
Have you ever played Half-Life?
Oh
yes.
Oh,
Yeah,
obviously.
That's fun.
Oh wow.
What?
If you haven't played Half-Life,
in a while.
Half-Life is
Oh,
awesome. Half-Life is one of the best games ever. And all of them. I like
Half-Life 3.
Oh my! Well, I don't remember 3 very well. I mean, I remember the first 2, but I mean, it's a scary game.
Well, Half-Life 3 is kind of a meme at this point.
Did anybody ever play what was it? Planescape Torment?
I played Torment.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, Torment Unreal.
No, it's made by the guys who did Baldur's Gate.
Oh, I hated Baldur's Gate. I thought the game sucked. Sorry, I was not happy with that game. Now I liked the original Elder Scrolls. The what was it called? Daggerfall. That was good. And then well, let's all play some games while we're having New Year's. Sty's got a game going on. What does Sty got? You're playing. Oh, what is that? What do you play as in Sty? Your mic's off, dude. Sty's actually on camera for a change. Look at that mug. He's so pretty. And he died. Or did he kill something? Is he? What is this game?
There we go. I've got loud music. I have to pause that as well.
Oh,
it's Counter-Strike Going. And hello to everybody who thinks I don't exist. That's a real person. As you can tell, I obviously do.
Happy New Year.
No, you obviously don't.
Are you
streaming?
I'm not. Are you streaming?
No, this is a hologram of some other person.
Are you streaming
There
it?
you go.
Yeah, I'm on Twitch at the moment.
You on Twitter, so they can hear us on Twitter?
On Twitch, they could.
Twitch, yeah.
Twitch.
What's the difference, man?
Yeah, Twitch.
Fuck Twitch.
The whole entire streaming video thing.
I don't know anything about Twitch.
To be fair, I'm just enjoying 2017 as I was gonna say non-smoker, but I'm vaping, so does that count?
Technically,
Yes.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, I don't know. Is it nicotine in there?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
well, I started like 2 days early just to get used to the idea of like not smoking.
Dude,
So,
I quit cold turkey, man. I quit December 5th last year. You know I did.
Well,
and I hadn't had a smoke or nothing. Dude, it killed you.
I know. He was lagging. He's Russian. He hack all the time.
Do people actually watch you on Twitch play this stuff?
Friends do.
Are they watching now?
There's so many people that do it, so it's kind of hard for you to have like millions of people unless you're entertaining and give away free shit, which I don't do. So I've got a small channel, tiny channel.
But you said they can hear us or they can't hear us?
Oh no, they can because it's going back through me whole entire. You can't edit, thankfully.
So I want to know. Stizer has friends. I want to know how that happened.
Fuck knows. You tell me, dude.
See, that's okay. See the gun you got now. Oh, see, you got a knife. But that gun you had, yeah, that's when I played like Battleground 1942 and shit like that. That's the kind of shit.
Well, you know, once upon a time, I used to be a pro gamer a long time ago. I was in the best team for 1942 for Battlefield.
Yeah, 1942.
That was a long ass time ago.
That's a fun game. Nobody plays it anymore. They still have servers. But nobody plays
I know.
it anymore.
Well, you know what, dude? A few of my friends, because we were like really good at it, we still dabble. But I wanna play Battlefield 1, but apparently it got some okay feedback before. It's not as good as the old one.
Well, I'll tell you what. One of these days, let me know.
I honestly,
I
don't like Battlefield 1. But Battlefield 1 sucks in my eyes because they did the same thing that they did with the new Star Wars Battlefront. They dumbed it down so hard because they want to appeal to people that are absolutely fucking garbage at playing games.
I mean,
so it rewards.
Just say console players.
Yes, it is console players. Like it's there's no way around
I'm
it.
a console player. I mean,
the skill ceiling is so low. You need to be underground to hit it.
Well,
like that.
Battlefield
That's how
42
fucking
is
low
not
the
a
skill
difficult
ceiling
game
is.
to begin with, right? You really don't have that much skill set to play 1942.
Dude, you still have to have like tactics and at least an aim, though. I mean, we was featured in like a PC Gamer. I forgot when it was, but it was a fucking long time ago. It's like 2000 and something. But we used to play like Dignitas and all these like other teams. I fucking loved it though. I loved playing in like leagues. Played with Vu.
The problem with modern day shooters is that okay, so I'm gonna go on a bit of a tangent here. COD has ruined an entire generation of first person shooter gamers and games simply because it appeals to the millennials that want instant gratification because the time to kill is so low, and especially on console the aim assist is so high that all you need to do is look in a general direction, accidentally bump the trigger on your gun, and you will get a kill.
Yeah,
like it requires
that's called Call
zero
of Duty.
skill.
The last time I checked, all the Call of Duty people are going to be like flagging Steve's channel because we said Call of Duty is for noobs.
Yeah, and since Call of Duty sells a lot of games because people can feel like they're actually good with putting in zero effort.
You're saying it's a lot less challenging.
A lot of games
a lot less
will
skill,
emulate it.
basically.
Yeah, it's a lot less skill.
Yeah, I've been playing this shit for years. Been playing CS since 1.3. In fact, I was playing CS when it was a fucking mod before Valve even bought it off the guy who made it. That's how long I've been playing CS for, and it's still one of the most played games on Steam. Go on Steam and check.
Are you on a pre-made team right now, or are you just pugging it?
Yeah, to be fair, I don't really like this version of Counter-Strike because of exactly what Halso just said. It's like, I don't know, they've just made it like microtransactions and all that shit, and it's just,
God, I hate
lots of guff.
games.
When CS 1.3 and 1.6, they were fun.
Well, CSGO still kind of has that aspect of it rewards good aim above block.
Yeah, it does.
In 99% of the cases.
To be fair, it's a bit laggy on the server, but yeah.
I understand the principle behind microtransactions. I can see why they do it. I don't have an issue with it per se, but it is a little annoying.
Microtransactions are perfectly fine as long as I would say it's perfectly fine as long as it doesn't hinder people's willingness to actually play the game, and that's where a lot of people fuck up.
Stuff,
to be fair to CS, it doesn't do that. The only thing you buy is weapons and knives and stuff like skins. It doesn't affect how you
skins.
Right. Yeah, but like DLCs are horrible. Like I stopped playing Battlefield because of the whole DLC shit. Like EA went batshit crazy. It's like, oh, buy the basic components of the game and download the rest of it. I was like, fuck that shit.
I mean, in a way, it is kind of brilliant because you don't want a game
game that it hobbles you as far as killing because there's no fun to play, right? You want to have the equal amount of skill about each other. But if you get really, really good at a game and you want to brag about it and you want to buy some cool skins to make you look like badass, I get that, right?
Yeah, well, that's fine. That's a skin. It's like I love the fact that I only play with Scout all the time, right? I'm good at AWP, but I find it uncompetitive because it's a one-shot kill game. Where
the Scout is much more.
I like the challenge of like trying to get 2 hits because you normally need 2 hits to kill someone with a Scout. To be fair.
Good God, Sty comes in and everybody leaves.
It's still a single headshot.
Sorry, it's because we're talking games.
I know we're talking games and everybody fucking just left.
So I got nerdy.
This. Happy New Year, I'm out. Peace, whatever.
Isn't the Scout still a headshot even with a helmet?
It is. You know what the Scout is, I think is the most underrated gun in the game. I mean, if you talk to people who play with AWPs, they will say, if you want to have fun, play with a Scout. But if you want to kill people, play with the AWP. I just like to have fun.
All because we were talking about Magic. Now we're into like all these other games. Yeah.
I need to ask one more question though, just because I've played maybe like 20 hours or maybe something like that of CS:GO. I stopped playing after CS 1.6, but I wonder, do you know if the Scout still has the zero spread at the peak of your jump height like it did before?
To be fair, I don't know. I just the only game. Well, I used to play a mode all the time called Scout Knives. So I'm just used to just having a Scout. Really, even though I'm getting shot to fucking death at the moment. I just like Scouts because it takes 2 hits. It doesn't take 1. AWP, I just feel like I'm cheating because I only need to hit you once and you're dead. Yeah, doesn't matter where I aim.
Oh,
yeah. So I'm just in the vicinity of your body, you're gonna die. You know?
Yeah, I don't like that. That's bullshit.
That's a cool thing about one of the cool things or quirks about the Scout, at least, and I believe it was in 1.6, and I believe it was in Global Offensive as well, where like if you jumped and you shot the Scout at your apex, essentially like at maximum height, it had the same accuracy stats as if you were standing still. So you could jump over crates and shoot people.
See, look at that guy, just 1 shot dead. If that was a Scout, I'd probably hit him and then have to fucking try and hit him again. Like it just AWP is the most stupidest weapon ever conceived by mankind in a game. I'm serious. Like it's no fun. I remember when I used to play Quake 3 Arena. I used to be really good at railguns. That's like a rail CS version of a rail, which is you just get shot once and you're dead basically, unless you've got armor or some shit. Even that blasts through. Yeah.
And those kind of guns are boring.
It's just horrible, especially if you got like auto snipe scripts. Because people have scripts as well, which is fucking terrible.
I've. Oh, good.
I just said, it looks like your skirmishes are like lasting 5 minutes. I hate those things like that. I like the skirmishes last like, at least 15, 20 minutes for a good skirmish.
No, but everybody keeps killing everybody. That's what I'm saying. It's not that's not like Battlefield, because Battlefield you have to run around. You know what was a really good game? Or a version of Battlefield was Battlefield Vietnam. I fucking love that flying a Huey. Oh my god. I used to love that shit, especially with the music, the soundtrack as well, going into battle with like fucking.
Do they still have a service for that? Because I mean, Battlefield's a free game now. At least Battlefield 42 is free.
Yeah, EA stopped the service though, didn't he? So it's kind of fucking weird.
I'll mention a game that is underrated, and I'm kind of sad that it got released when it did, because if it had gotten released a few years ago, it probably would have gone into the competitive scene. The only problem is for hardcore people here is that it's a console game. It's called SOCOM. That thing
SOCOM
was legitimately fucking great. That's honestly the best.
I've actually still got SOCOM. You can actually get that for the PC.
There's a new H-hour. Have you checked the H-hour? There's actually a project that will remake SOCOM 2 on PC. It's called H-hour. It's actually really good.
Yeah, I used to play all of them. Like one of the first ones was I played SWAT. Before that, it was Rainbow Six. I've actually still got them on CDs, believe it or not. Yeah. The original Rainbow Six. I fucking love that game. You used to plan it meticulously and let your little robot dudes do the shit, and you plan it. The AI was terrible in it, but that was still fun. It's like playing chess.
Yeah, but that was really fucking fun.
Yeah, for sure. I used to spend hours doing that. I still got the original Mech Warrior on CD, for fuck's sake.
Oh, dude.
Mech Warrior?
Yeah, the original MechWarrior white CD.
Yeah, that's old school.
White. Yeah.
I had that. I had Heroes of Might and Magic. That whole series, all of those. Civilization, any of those.
White CDs with a Baldur's Gate.
On the lines of MechWarrior, though, has anyone ever played Battlezone?
No. The closest I got to it was Hawken. Oh, there we go. I finally killed somebody. Jesus.
Because if you haven't played, I picked Battlezone back up last year, and yes, that is 2016, and started playing it again. And for a game that's, I think it's 20, no, it's not 20, it's somewhere between 15 and 20 years old, I think, at this point. It actually still plays really well. Like the controls of it, the physics and everything, it hasn't aged at all almost. It feels really good to play it, and it's a really cool game because it's one of the first games that combines first-person shooters with RTS strategy from a first-person view. So you do real-time RTS from a first-person ground view.
I love old games.
Sorry, I don't mean to
also
interrupt this,
Urban Assault.
but I just want to stop by for 1 second and just say Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year.
Don't forget, yeah.
Thank you, dude.
Steve, I'll put in one extra vote for Ronnie just for you. Bye. Happy New Year.
Oh, why, thank you. Ronnie is way ahead at the moment, so only a few hours left to go. Please get your votes in and vote for Ronnie for Dumb Fuck of the Year.
Steve, I tell you, I'm beating you because I gave a vote for Antonio.
Yeah, I gave a vote for Dionysus, so whatever.
But I did it last night after a hangout over on Creekchan.
You know,
oh my god.
What do you do?
Okay, so he actually, how to even begin? He actually objects to the fact that the moon can cast a shadow on the Earth. Because...
No, lies.
Well, I remember that. He doesn't see the direction of the shadow, yeah.
Yeah, and there was some other shit like there was so much dumb shit.
Has he ever taken a light source and put two objects and shown how the shadow would move?
It wasn't even he's so retarded.
I mean, this is the guy that thinks he saw Polaris from the southern of the equator. He thinks he can see Polaris.
Yeah, okay, so that actually happened last night as well. They some guy came in, I forgot his name, but he came in and told them that he had for definite an image of star trails that showed Polaris from Indonesia. The only problem was that as soon as you start analyzing the image is facing south. So, but he actually owned up to saying that, okay, I was probably mistaken. But he still stated it as fact, irrefutable proof, and Antonio swallowed it, and Antonio never went back on it, I think. I think he still claims that was Polaris.
I've never spoken.
Even though it was obviously that it was pointing south, and when you put it into when you put the coordinates into something like Worldwide Telescope and look at the Aurora Australis, or I mean, fucking another.
Right. You talking about the South Star, the Southern Star?
I'm drunk. Okay, I've been drinking for fucking.
Good. Welcome to the party, Bill.
Isn't it something Southern Orionus or something?
I've been drinking for 8 hours.
I've been drinking for 5 hours.
Blah, 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 blah.
Fuck off.
that looks like Polaris. Oh my.
Yeah, by the way, I did watch that video. I watched it on Red's channel. I don't remember who was debunking him, but they brilliantly showed the relationships of these observatories to the South Celestial Sphere, because he's just like, oh my, that looks like Polaris.
No, this was a different image.
Oh, it's still pretty funny that he thinks you can see Polaris.
You guys, I think you're missing the bigger point.
There is no bigger point. We have no point.
No. If it's all a huge conspiracy, right? And it's NASA and the governments of the world and all these guys and the, I don't know, like the Illuminati and all these people. If it's all of them and it's all a big conspiracy, then they are doing an amazing job of making it look like an actual scientific thing, right? Like they're making it look like
They do
reality.
Okay. They do okay.
Well, I mean,
their CGI could be better.
well, no, but I'm just saying, like, if we actually believe the Earth is a sphere and that it revolves around the sun and there's all this going on, then they've done a really good job to make it look that way.
Or we just
I bet they don't even know what CGI actually stands for.
No, they don't.
Well, they don't.
They
They
probably
should
think what you do
if
now
they
is
watch
reality
Rogue
style.
One, they would probably get an idea. But
the funny thing is,
they don't actually they don't understand what CGI itself stands for. As someone who deals CGI in some aspects of what I do, it's quite hilarious.
cat-generated, interesting.
Some shit, right? It's kind of funny the way they talk. It's like, you do know we didn't have CGI in like the 70s.
Well,
Yeah, it just we didn't have that shit.
So some of them will say that any image that is a composite is a fake image, right? Never mind the fact that a composite
Computer-generated images are not the fucking same thing as video editing. This is how stupid these fucking people are.
And it's the same thing as a composite does not equal being fake. But what they fail to realize is, and I try to explain this to people, is that technically, like by the definition of a composite, right? Technically speaking, every single digital image taken ever is a composite.
I mean, you can composite with photographs. It's just the methods are completely different. These people are saying the planet's fake because of CGI. Well, we didn't have CGI. That's the entire point. It just they debunked themselves by just mentioning CGI.
No, but see, obviously, right? Those images didn't exist back then. They've only made them recently, and then people have just swallowed that they existed back then.
Yeah, idiots.
Checkmate.
I mean, you don't even need that. You can just look up math. Fucking math proves that the Earth's fucking round. You don't need images.
Hey, everyone knows.
We don't even need to see the sun, and we know the sun exists. Even if the sun never shone, we don't know there was a fucking sun.
Hey, everyone knows math is only relative to the numeral system you're using. Just ask Ronnie.
Right. Yeah, of course. I mean, because we all know that the pi and all these other fundamental constants change.
In my worldview, gravity doesn't work according to D.
Well, I had some guy come on my videos the other day. Oh, that sounded really nasty, by the way. I didn't mean the way that actually said. But, he's just like talking complete gibberish, and he's sitting there saying, oh, well, the only reason I could jump out of a plane and I fall to Earth is because I have weight. It has nothing to do with gravity. It's my own body weight. And I'm like, do you understand weight is mass times gravitational force due to acceleration? I mean, you're basically saying the same thing we are. You're ignoring the fact that it's a force pulling you down, dumbass. F equals ma, W equals, what is it? W equals m times g. And g is just a substitution for the acceleration of gravity. And he's just like not understanding this. He's like, gravity doesn't exist. It's my own body weight. I'm like, fuck, you're stupid.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Oh.
Dude, that is even worse than hearing people try and explain that the Cavendish experiment the only reason the balls are moving is because the air is trying to fill the space the balls occupy.
I don't know what the Cavendish experiment is. Does that have to do with hash browns?
It measures the rate of the gravitation. It measures gravity.
I defused the bomb with a second left to go. Well, under a second. Sorry.
Don't they do it like every 4 years, Halsoy? Don't they run the experiment every 4 years?
They do it often in certain universities. They do it essentially at the start of every semester just to demonstrate what it is.
Oh, okay.
Just to fuck with people's minds.
They use it with like lasers and shit now as well. Now, so in case that was if Sherry doesn't actually know what the Cavendish experiment is, it's essentially just a torsion. Okay, so it's a torsion balance.
Oh.
So it's like
the Illuminati.
Two heavy objects suspended on strings, and the attraction force of the two balls twist the string, and you can measure the twisting force of the string, and that's how you find out how much the local gravity is.
You have big, heavy
Why would it
balls.
twist? No, like why? Like what is that? Like if they're why would it twist the string? Like what is that torsional thing going? I don't.
You want me to show you a diagram?
I don't know what that. I don't understand.
There's pictures of the Cavendish experiment.
Well, yeah, I don't.
Let me see if I can find one.
Is it Cavendish?
Yes.
Hopefully my computer doesn't. Well, my computer's about to melt. Actually,
It's a cave-in dish, yes.
I'm running too much.
Yeah,
I got 100%
not-
CPU usage. If somebody else wants to find it,
How can you have 100% CPU?
well, it is
Is it
because
on fire?
because I'm running Manicam. I'm running streaming Xbox or XSplit. I'm running Firefox, and I'm running Google Chrome. So.
Well, you know what? It's not doing too bad because if it was that bad, it'd be actually skipping on the audio spectrum. So
Yeah,
that's
no,
okay.
it's right at its limit right now. Oh my God, it looks like Xmage. Of course, I don't know what Xmage is, but I mean, I do kind of sort of. He told me, but I haven't seen it. But so this is your Xmage client, Slim?
Who? Yeah.
And I want to see this real quick. Log into something, and I want to see how the deck looks. Because if you can play this game offline, I would love to play this game if it's really a true version of Magic the Gathering.
Oh fuck! I keep thinking you're talking to me. Sorry, Steve.
No. So why? So how come people pay for the Magic the Gathering online? Because that's just expensive. What's the difference then?
No cheats, no hacks.
No. Slim.
I have Magic of the Gathering.
Oh, sorry, I was muted.
So what's the difference between this and Magic the Gathering online?
There's no ranking system. So
what?
All right,
Really?
let's go to-
I don't care about the ranking system.
Yeah, I mean, basically. Go set up a new match against the computer.
I just want to see the graphics if it's similar to.
Yeah. Hang on a sec. Okay, yep. Select that deck. Play against a mad computer. I'll just generate a random deck. Oh, whoops, it's not going to let me do that. No, yeah, I know. I need it to be modern. So we're loading and start the game.
Yeah, I
So
don't
here
know.
you
I
see
look
the
at
table.
this.
Oh, nice table. Oh, that doesn't look too bad so far.
Let's go as the starting player. All right, so yep, my hand is going to be down near the bottom.
You gonna take a mulligan?
No, this card, this actually works for what I'm going to for what I want to do. So right here, right up to the upper right hand side, it'll actually take you through all your turn steps.
Yeah. Okay. See, right. I got you.
And then, yep, as soon as I have a playable card, you drop it onto the board.
This is awesome. I can
Select
play
the card you want to play. Your mana.
And I'll automatically tap it, and then
Yep.
and it'll do your upkeep and.
Yep, it'll take you all through there. And then the nice part about Xmage is, when you compare it to some of the other clones, is Xmage has all the triggers programmed in, so you don't have to worry about missing upkeep triggers. So if you
I
have
do that all
something
the
that,
time
like,
in real life.
yep, draw a card at the beginning of your upkeep, it'll automatically draw you an extra card.
Yeah.
How come no one
Unfortunately,
you just said
what?
Unfortunately, it only helps you make your magic triggers and not any others.
Can you put it? I mean, just out of curiosity, could you put it to manual where you would have to manually recognize you have upkeep triggers?
I've never tried, to tell you the truth.
Because that's one thing I do drives me nuts about Magic. It's hard to really. I don't think I've ever played. Well, I have, but I mean, it's really hard to play a full game where you haven't missed something. I don't know. I don't play it that often, so I know I'm missing stuff every so often.
Oh yeah, I've actually lost a competitive game because I missed a trigger.
Oh, see, that would.
Because I had a creature on there that would, every time I drew a card, they would lose life, and I forgot that trigger. So I went through my upkeep phase, and he didn't lose enough life. So when I swung in, I didn't do enough damage, and then the next turn he just obliterated me.
Oh. Well, thanks for pointing this out to me. I definitely would like to play this. So yeah, I would have fun with this.
Yeah, and I mean the nice part is, I mean I can set up a game, a network game, drop it into the network game table, and then make it a password game. So you just look for my username, the Slim Jim 83, and
well, let me get back into it and practice for a while. But eventually, I'll play online people. Yeah.
Well, and you can set up a friendly match between friends too, which is nice.
Can you make the cards bigger though? I wouldn't be able to. How do you read that?
Well, my monitor's quite big.
Okay.
And I have 20/20 vision.
All right, so it just looks small from my end, but yeah.
Oh, preferences, right? You can adjust the GUI size.
Okay.
So you can go to cards, game size elements, hand and stack objects. You can increase the size.
So how do they make their money if it's a free game, free servers?
People just do it just for fun because they love the game.
Oh, so
I mean, it's by fans for fans.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like vanilla World of Warcraft. Same thing, really.
Wow, awesome. Yeah, I would
Here,
definitely like.
Is that
this.
a little bigger?
Yeah, I definitely would like this. I mean, this looks like a good version of Magic.
Oh yeah, and I mean, I'm using cards. My deck runs the gamut from like 20. What the set is this? Okay, so this is.
How many cards do you use in your deck?
I usually run about 60.
Yeah. Okay. I heard.
But I mean, I'm using sets from 2006 all the way up to now.
Competition though, isn't it like 48?
Nope. That's for a seal event. Is about 40 cards.
That would suck.
It's not that bad. Only because with the sealed deck, unless you get lucky and you manage to pull like just some absolute bomb, the decks are all fairly competitive. I actually preferred like sealed events like drafts and limited tournaments more than I like constructed because I am flat broke. I mean, I can go throw in $15 to enter a sealed booster draft. Everybody gets a bunch of booster packs and then does a deck out of those.
It makes it more fair if you have a sealed deck, doesn't it?
Yes. Unless somebody like happens to draw like the primo ultra rare card from that particular set that you're drafting.
Luck of the draw, but I mean you can't really do much about that. But for the most part, it does make it a little bit more based upon skill than having a massive amount of shit awesome cards.
Right.
But yeah, I'll play this. I'll practice. It's been a while, but I'll get back into it. Then I'll take you on a few games.
And the nice part is, like, you get to play all the Magic you want and not spend a dime. I mean, you pay for your internet bill.
Mine's paid for, but yeah, okay, cool. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Learned something new.
Yeah, no worries. I'm gonna stop sharing though, because this eats up my memory like nothing else.
Pay for your internet bill. That sounds like work.
I mean, I gotta just hack the neighbors, man.
You write it off at the end of the year, and no, I don't. I pay $90 a month for my internet, so
that's pretty much average nowadays.
Is it? No, that's high.
Yeah, well,
where
around here it's high too, but I mean that's what things have gone to. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, cable bills. People paying $200 for a cable bill, for God's sake. Half of that's your internet.
We have two people in the house, but we've actually had before they changed it. We had 3 Netflix streaming at one time for 2 people. I don't know why we did, but we did. But they changed it, so now we have to pay extra for that. So we didn't.
Does anybody that want to vote for Ronnie who hasn't voted for him yet? Now's the time. You only got a little bit of time left, guys. Make it count. You want to be on
He's
the
in
winning
the
team.
lead, though, right?
Oh yeah, by far.
Yeah.
Astronomically, so he's
I already
almost
voted for him,
double.
I don't really want to make socks just for that.
He's at 838 and Von Helden is at 468. So he's down
And
to
before
0.1
Red
ahead.
just throws out all the votes and just says Antonio wins.
That would be pretty funny. Nobody would show up for this party. They'd be like, "Fuck you, Reds."
Daytime, nighttime.
Sexy.
I really think
sexy.
We'll make sure that Antonio Super Reds gets an honorable, mention in the hangout.
I think 2017 is going to be really interesting.
Really?
I think we'll go to war with somebody in
I
2017.
don't think.
No.
What are we going to talk about? I can't. I mean, first of all, I know that
Trump,
obviously
fuck's sake.
there's going to be
20
dumb,
days.
there's going to be dumb fuckery, but for the most part, I don't know how much worse dumb fuckery they've already had in 2016. So I don't really want to focus a lot on these dumb fuckers. I don't. Toward the end of the year when we have the dumb fucker of the year award, but Do you really think that they're going to say that much stupid shit to make it really of interest next year for a dumb fucker?
Define interest.
I don't know. Well, how much stupid shit can they say? What's next?
No. What I'm thinking is,
We've heard it all before. There's nothing new under the sun.
well, of course, I'm just saying it. I'm saying it's going to be interesting because we're going to have new players, not new players, but players that were never in contention before, right?
Such as?
So now, if we have to start looking at people like Matt Slick, right? He's going to need like it's not the same level. It's not the same level of dumbfuckery.
Are you saying we are going to have a higher degree of dumbfuckery?
No, I'm saying the next 3 years, it'll be lower degree, but it's going to be closer range between candidates.
So the dumbfuckery skill ceiling is being lowered.
Yes.
See, I wouldn't have put Matt Slick on the dumbfucker of the year. I just wouldn't have. I mean, there's so many other Antonio Fletcher beats Matt Slick hand down.
Well,
down.
yeah.
Well, Matt Slick is he's done some stupid shit, but I don't think anyone can say that he's unintelligent.
Right.
Well, but see, and that's how, and that's your definition of a dumb fuck. To me,
he's still a dumb fuck.
No. But listen, right? But to me, a dumb fuck isn't necessarily unintelligent. They might actually be more intelligent because they know how stupid they're being, and they're still a dumb fuck.
Well, see,
to me,
that's a reasonable
right?
argument,
but
that's my
fuck, I'm just saying, dumb fuck is it's a plastic
it's a sliding
definition.
Scale.
Right? Yeah.
But that's my main issue with someone like Matt Slick, because he's clearly not unintelligent. He's probably a really brilliant person. But he's either unwilling or incapable of understanding that what he thinks making a point out of is a non-starter.
Yeah, I know.
Which is kind of confusing because on like all other accounts, you would assume that this person is intelligent or more intelligent than most, but something that obvious should be clear to him, and he has no fucking clue. Like the whole
he'll never figure that out. You know that, right?
I definitely think Slick categorizes more as the fuck rather than the dumb.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like dumb fuck, like to me, it's like, are you dumb or are you a fuck, right? Because it's kind of like this. And if you can balance those two, then obviously you're amazing. But see, to me, like you look at true empiricism, he's more on the dumb side, right? And
yes.
And obviously someone like Darwin's deity is on the fuck side, which is where Slick is, right? So it's this scale. I don't know if anyone really falls in the middle all that well.
Ronnie's kind of interesting because he's one of those that I think he's probably like just flat out too stupid to realize that he's not intelligent.
He is. He's flat out that stupid. Yes.
Well, and so like when everyone was saying that they didn't think that Von Hilton should even be nominated because he has some sort of mental.
I've been one of those people.
problem.
Yes.
No, he shouldn't be nominated because he's already famous for being fucking retarded. He shouldn't win a prize for something that he's already. You can't get it for a year if he's permanently dumb.
But my question is, how is true empiricism different? How?
Because he's a special little snowflake.
Ronnie doesn't think he's a fucking Ronnie doesn't think he's a fucking time traveler.
Well, from what I heard, neither does him. Does
Well,
Vaughn.
he's not.
But...
he's not like psychotically delusional.
Isn't he?
No, he's a stupid.
Are you sure?
Ronnie's a fucking moron.
No, I'm not sure.
You got to be an epic kind of special to get to Von levels.
I'm just saying, like anybody that thinks that they understand biology the way he thinks he does is delusional.
I can't really argue against you on that, but again, you're comparing somebody who's just sucky at science, who thinks he's good at it, compared to somebody who thinks he's a fucking 3,000-year-old vampire.
Yeah,
and what I'm saying is, in terms of human intelligence, I don't see a big difference.
There's a huge difference. One's deluded, the other one's impractical.
Oh, really?
Ronnie's a dumb fuck because of the shit that he thinks, right, in regards to some of the special funny shit. where Von Helton,
Not
he's
just
been on
that.
YouTube for so long, everybody knows he doesn't deserve an award. He just doesn't. He's got every award you can possibly give.
He'd be proud of it, actually. I think it's funny that Ronnie is going to actually get 2 awards. I mean, he's got the Line Cost Suck of the Year, and now he's going to get the Dumb Fuck of the Year. So, I mean, that takes a lot of credit. I mean, a lot
The best thing is he's just gonna take it as like some kind of achievement, right? Because the atheists say I'm stupid, therefore I must be the smartest.
Well, now is it a greater achievement or a lesser achievement than making his own webpage?
Wow.
Well, his webpage.
Yeah, I make websites sometimes as part of my job, and if I ever made something like he made, I would probably be fired.
Yeah, that was
horrible. I'm pretty sure if the web page I made on one of those free sites maker things back in the 90s still existed, it would still look better than that.
No, I can't.
Yeah, what was it that GeoCities?
Yeah,
No,
when I owned web pages, we didn't have fucking computer programs. We only had Notepad. Bitches.
Yeah, you actually had a new. You wrote your own HTML, right?
Yeah, I got my level 3 in IT when I was 18 or some shit. I forgot level 4. I could teach it, but I would never do that ever.
It's just something as basic as don't put fucking light beige text on a beige brown background.
Yeah, I mean, right now I'm doing text and I'm trying to find a good background to do this. Unfortunately, I've got a lot of colors, so it doesn't let you do a fill. So I'm kind of playing around because I want it to be able to stand out. So I mean, he didn't care. He was just like, okay, I'm just gonna throw this on there, and you can't even fucking read it because it's like you said, it's beige on brown and white writing on white, and I'm like, what the fuck?
You gotta understand what burns people eyeballs. You know, it's like back in the day, black and white. That's eye burning shit, right? People still do black and white. But still burns your eyeballs.
Black background with white text is fine. I hate text on background.
Well, every single news media outlet and every media outlet uses black text.
I know, and it's fucking dumb.
But you'd also
burns your fucking eyes.
You should also have an outline, and you should also maybe I use GIMP, and you have to grow it out a little bit, then you fill it in. You should at least have some kind of.
And don't have the smallest font known to mankind. That's always a bad idea.
8-point font is not good.
No.
You know, the funny
standard
thing
for people who are fucking blind is 12 or some shit.
There was a time, right, back when we had CRTs, right, and people would be like, "Oh my God, your monitor is flickering. How can you stand to look at that?" And I'd be like, "I can't see it at all," because 60 hertz or what is it? Yeah, I couldn't see that. I couldn't see the flickering at that. I can't. I seriously, my brain does not see that speed. So I can watch that shit, right? And so now people are complaining, "Oh, the text is too small," or blah blah blah, or it's not this or something. I have no trouble whatsoever now. Now that we have these flat screen monitors, I love them. Everything looks sharp and amazing to me. And I have
my 40-odd inch monitor is only 68. It does a pretty good job. The resolution's high though. That's the difference. The resolutions.
But that's the thing. So this 8-point font, I can do that. I don't. 8 points is 8 is big enough for me as long as it's sharp. Right?
As long as it's sharp, yes. But the problem comes if you mix the foreground and the background colors wrong. The letters become smaller technically because of the bleed. So you no longer have an 8 font. Yeah. You have 4.
6.
I'm just saying that also doesn't. I'm just saying that also doesn't bother me. Right?
You get motion sickness when you're reading and shit.
I have things on my monitor that other people are like, "Oh my God, how can you look at that?" And it doesn't bother me at all.
I love small text because you can have more of it on screen. The problem is when it's really fucking bright background and barely have even a single pixel thickness.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, right? The thing is, you can have. It depends on how set up your web. Actually, have big fonts. But if you got if you set your web page up, you can change the resolution / if you know how to use CSS anyway, you can.
By the way, everybody, the link to get in is in the video description. It's also on my G Plus page. Come on, get some people in here. We got like 30 people hanging on in the side. Come on in and hang out.
Yeah, and I'm going to apologize because I started this whole computer shit by actually playing a game when I came
Have
in.
you,
So.
have you used Weebly at all? Have you used Weebly? Weebly.
Yeah, you know what? I was told to use that by my college when I was doing my game diploma thing.
But I
because
like
we had to do some like fucking other shit on it.
But I mean, like, what do you think of it? Because I really
I like Weebly. It put a lot of people out of business, and myself included, in regards to. I used to charge people like 50 quid per web page, not a website, per page. I wrote 50 notes just to do that shit.
Yeah.
And I used to get paid for it once upon a time.
No, I know.
Not
So
anymore.
I have 2 clients on Weebly right now, and both of them are like pretty much free.
Yeah.
On Weebly, and I like just go in and edit it. It's easy to do, and I love it.
The only thing I literally get paid for when it comes to web pages anymore is just graphics. I don't get paid for any code shit anymore.
Squarespace, build it beautiful.
No point. Yeah. I just make it look nice. That's about it.
I'm talking
Like,
about
can
their
you do
clients.
this,
They're clients, so we charge by the hour, right? But we don't have to charge them extra for their website because Weebly is free for them as educators and stuff. It's pretty cool.
I'll tell you what's one of the good sites as well, actually, to use in terms of like free shit. If you're on it, it's been mostly used for like blogs, but you can get like add-ons and stuff for it. This is hold on a second. In the middle of my waffle.
Well, like one of our clients is an educator, so they get free Microsoft stuff, which is kind of cool. But it's a bit of work for us to set it all up, but they don't have to pay. That's cool.
You draw a card and you lose. What is Planeswalker?
Hey, Sty, what are you playing?
CS Source. I'm just trying to find something. Yeah, anyway, sorry, fucking hell. The thing I was going to say is WordPress is really good, actually, if you're into that kind of shit as well. It's
WordPress?
WordPress.
Is that what is that? Oh.
It's you have to install it on your server. It's like having your own Weebly.
Yeah.
It's not. It doesn't. Well, for me, it doesn't give me the creative ability, to be fair. But
you have to host it yourself, right?
Well, yeah, I own a web server, so it doesn't matter.
Ah, okay. Well, and I mean, we have a web server, but like we don't put our client shit on it because it's kind of a crappy web server.
Well, to be honest, the one that we use, and we've had it for ages. It's me and my friend, we like gamers, obviously, who play games, but we've had this server. We used to do pirate radio. We've actually still got a pirate radio station, to be fair. So we play music, which, to be fair, I haven't updated in ages, but we played music forever, kind of thing on it. And we used to when CS, because what you could do is in CS, in Counter-Strike, the game I'm playing now in 1.6 and stuff, you could play music inside of the game with like scripting, but you had to have like a Linux server. You couldn't use a Windows server because the crap, basically. But in that regards, yeah, blah blah blah. This thing that I was just talking about before, I think that's not too bad. It's not as, it doesn't let me get away with murder in regards to the way I like to set up web pages, because I like the artistic approach. But in regards to if you want to set up someone's web page easy, like paying for shit or whatever, it's pretty damn good because you can get like nice little plugins for like shopping carts or whatever, and they're pretty easy to set up. They're annoying to configure to look nice though. That's the only problem I have with these clumsy programs or scripts. It's so hard to make them look pretty because they're in blocks, modules. So it's hard to make the modules look good unless you literally rewrite an entire theme, and nobody's paying that much amount of money for me to do that shit. So I have to do it minimally, if you know what I mean.
Well, okay. I mean, I the thing I love about Weebly is that if our clients want to be able to edit their own stuff,
you can.
We can teach them to do that. Yeah, and they can do it.
It's pretty easy. So you're kind of like an advisor then, right? I think I would be in that kind of position.
Well, I mean, they have like literally they're changing their calendar every 2 days. Their calendar, right? It's like one file on Weebly, and they're changing it every 2 days. I think they can do it themselves if they want to upload it.
Well, yeah, I mean, but that's the thing with the internet is it's evolved where everybody's got access to the source, so to speak. Where before it was very limited, The whole web page making thing was like, I'm elite because I can make a web page. Now, to be fair, it's got this direction where nobody makes web pages anymore. You just get themes off the internet, or someone's developed a web page that can make web pages for you.
Well, yeah, I mean,
you should have a script or whatever.
I have a Google site, right? I didn't have to do much to do that. I have a few Google sites, but yeah, Google has all that stuff built in. Weebly has it all built in. And so we also have 2 WordPress sites, and they are a bit more work. I gotta say.
Yeah, I will say this. I've had to deal with WordPress like twice.
It's tough.
Well, I would say about 3 times, and I'm just like, really, really, do you have to make it this hard?
I think the problem with it is when you're building a shop, when you're actually selling things, then it gets a little tricky.
Well, you can get the plugin. I mean, to be fair, I sell T-shirts right now, and I use the WordPress thing. But I would say this, to be fair, there's a lot easier fucking ways to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want a WordPress site, then that's okay. But it took me like 2 days just to figure that out. Like, what the fuck are you trying to explain to me here? Because it's got modules and this and that, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, I don't know what the fuck's going on here.
Yeah. I think if you need a shop, it's probably what you need to do, but it's not fun.
It's not. At first I was pulling my hair out, and then I just, what I did? I made like a blank page and just like, okay, what's going on here? And then I had to figure it out as you do. You go backwards, right? You create a monstrosity and go, okay, how does this monstrosity work? Go backwards, and then you read lots of README files and all that shit. And I've got mine working finally. But do I like it? Not a chance. No way. It's horrible, and I wouldn't recommend it for anybody unless obviously you're intended on putting in the hours. It took me ages to do it, but
I just want to say I need to go and probably get some sleep, but Happy New Year, and fuck off 2016.
Oh, dude, you think 2016 is bad? Wait until
2017 can't be worse. Come
no,
on.
It's gonna get worse.
Oh my god!
Don't you dare challenge 2017 to surpass 2016.
Hey, listen, 35 people have already been killed in fucking Turkey in a fucking.
All I know is Betty White only has to last another 3.5 hours. Betty White, you can do it.
Bad man.
If 2016 stays Betty, I'm done. I'm done.
I have to renew your mortgage, did you say?
At 11:59, Betty White dies. That would just. I'm done.
She's not gonna die. She'll dye her hair.
Yeah, she'll dye her hair.
She'll dye her hair. Lol.
She's got another 20 years.
She's died like 20 times already.
Yeah, exactly.
No, 2017 is gonna be spectacular. I can't. There's only 20 days, and then fucking Trump's the president.
Oh my god!
I can't wait for the memes. Oh, the internet's gonna break. Seriously.
This is the worst possible time to renew,
especially if it's windy.
That I can imagine. Like, I don't even know what to do. Variable fixed.
I don't know what happened to they started off with this smooth transition. Everything was hunky dory. Now they're all like each other's throats.
I can't even.
That went south quickly, didn't it?
I want to see his hair go fucking crazy when he puts his hand on the
You guys,
Bible.
I
and
figured it
Satan
out.
memes.
I figured out Trump's hair, you guys. I figured it out.
It's a new life form.
No. Listen, you guys, this is scientific, and I think it might be on the money. Look, so he has money, right? And so I was always kind of like, why doesn't this fucktard just go to Turkey and get a hair transplant, right? But here's the thing. He did. He's gone several times. Here's the thing. There's no other hair on his body to take. Every hair follicle on his body is already on his head.
Well, he might have had. I mean, he claims it's his own hair, but he's never said it was.
No, it is his own hair. It is, but it's been transplanted. He has.
From
I
his
bet you any money, if you were to like look at his entire body from the head down, he'd be hairless. He's got no hair except for his head. It's all already been transplanted. That's why it looks so shitty, because that's all there is. The guy doesn't have that much body hair to begin with.
So he has butt hair on his head?
Yes.
His pubes are on his head.
It's arm hair, it's leg hair, it's bum hair, it's whatever it has to be. But that is all there is.
Well, the problem with that, though, is like a hair that's not like on your arms, it's a different type of hair because it only grows a certain length and it will fall off.
Sure.
Your hair on your head.
Which is why his head is so shitty looking. That's what I'm saying.
But it's long.
That's what I'm saying. Like, some of it is, some of it's long, right? Right? So, obviously, they've taken some stuff from his temples, like around the side of the head and the back of the head, and they put it on the top to make it long, right? Because it has to
from
be.
his ass. That's fine.
I'm just saying, this guy has tons of. He has enough. Look, I know a guy that went to Turkey to get a hair transplant. It cost him like $3,000, and it was like 1.5 weeks there.